understanding law, statutes, and judgment, the weightier matter of this subject. And what we're speaking of, y'all, is you may have a situation and you have to clearly discern which way this situation is going. And it's for the well-being of that individual, your household, or the situation itself. There has to be a weightier matter when it's happening with this, and you have to fall with the weightier matter, however light it may seem to be. But because it may be small, and you see an out-of-control F5 type of tornado coming behind it, you have to really weigh that, even though it may be 5 years down the road, because it's going to happen. It was told to Moses. It was told to Abraham. Know of a certain, your people going into slavery. And we didn't go into bondage because the Most High didn't have nothing else to do with his children and decide, well, let me lock some of them up. No, it wasn't happening like that. It was about our disobedience and understanding the weightier matters of the law because we were using it incorrectly. We were wielding a loose, I should say, a hammer on a pistol with a lemon trigger. That's the way we was dealing with the law. Ready to go off at any moment. About matters that we need to seriously discern and concern, which is the weightier matter, y'all. So get some understanding on that, y'all. We're going to hit on a few other things, but since we've been on the, we have a radio show on every Sunday morning from 7 to 10, and we'll have that up on the board by the end of class. Also, let me just get a few things out of the way. If anybody needs any Passover tickets, y'all see Davion, if y'all have to leave. If not, I'll see y'all at the end. That's Davion with his hand up. So, 19 days outside of the Passover. The reason we want to start hitting on these subjects and then we'll hit on the Passover itself is to get the spirit and the soul conditioned to get that leavening out. If you win an argument, so to speak, and that weightier matter is just so I can be right, not what's right, you wasting your time. So we got what you got, man?
Let me read that.
Yeah.
Matthew 23.
Matthew 23 and 23. Go ahead.
All right, y'all, we go over the book of Matthew, chapter 23. We're going to start at verse 23.
And y'all, this is what we clearly have to start discerning these things because y'all, what we're talking about now is spiritual language. You're talking about, when you talk spiritual, you talk about everlasting. See, when you talk carnal law, you talking temporal. Right. Here today, gone tomorrow. The judgments you're making is saying, can I deal with this the rest of my life? Can I deal with this through eternity? First, I made sure that can anybody deal with me through eternity. If you keep promoting, man, I know I got some ways, but that's the problem. So you keep bringing them up. I don't need you to know my ways, because I need to work on them. But if I'm promoting them, I'm not going to give you a license to give me a pass because I'm weak now. Right. Well, I'm going to keep promoting that. So if you see me doing that, it's like, am I warning you? Matthew 23, go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cummin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
So he's telling the Pharisees, or modern day so-called lawgivers, that they pay their tithes. And the mint and anise, and that's how it comes, because back in the day you paid tithes with crops, or if you were wealthy enough, there was a treasury there that people threw much in the treasury. So money was there as well, but commanded type of tithing was, if you made shoes, 10% of them shoes, if there was increase in your household, you gave to the Levites, the fatherless, and the widows. So it was saying they was doing that. So today we hear the same thing from first day of the week doctrine. Not talking about the people, talking about the doctrine. That teaches if you give tithes, don't worry about the weightier matters. You done lifted that burden.
You paid it, right?
Right. So that's the difference in what he's explaining. Go ahead, bro.
And have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith.
See, if you overlook somebody just putting cash in your hand or Crocs in your hand or whatever they doing, you overlook what's causing the problem here. If two brothers got a beef, one makes a nice paycheck, the other one 2 checks from homeless, do you accept his gift more?
Right.
And looking at this brother saying, well, he may not have nothing to give, but it's like the widow that they cast in much, she cast in 2 mites. Messiah says she's giving more than they all of them. Them 2 mites was more than all of them gave, so that's the way the matters needs to be judged. If they're making an effort, if they're 1 check from homeless and they say, can this help out? Versus the ones just dumping it because they got it. Right. Total different thing we're talking about when we're talking about the kingdom of the Most High. Because when you're in the kingdom of the Most High, everybody's going to do well. Now, will some have more than others? Yes, because it says the more work you put in, the more you storing up. But that don't mean what I got, you going to look at it any different. Ain't going to be no bad hate now. Right. Because you clearly going to understand what I am looking at of mine. That's how much work I put in to earn it. Right. Works of righteousness. We're not talking about you because you helped the old lady get in the grocery store. Works of righteousness with faith. Those two have to go hand in hand. So without the faith, it'll be just boasting. Go ahead, brother.
These ought ye to have done,
right?
And not to leave the other undone.
See what he said, and not to leave the other undone. So don't get it twisted when you're talking about tithe and the preacher doing this. It still has to go down in a form of the order of Melchizedek tithe, a free will offering upon your increase. You cannot leave home and take care of somewhere else, and you don't live there. You can't live here. But to eat like we do, and to have lights and heat, gas in the winter, it costs. If we don't get it, we just have to do it over there or something over a conference call. If they take that away, we have to stand in the parking lot. But something gonna cost. So that's why you can't omit the other part of it.
No doubt.
It goes hand in hand, but it's how you place it. Which way you put them. Are you using that as a stumbling block to guarantee? Because I damn sure ain't going to tell them free will. That'll let them go in their pocket when they feel like it. They're going to always be thinking about something else. Stopping and getting this at the store. And they ain't going to give, so we'll force tithing on them. We'll tell them the law is done away with. Then we'll go to Malachi 3:8 on them. And ask them will they rob God and convict them in their spirit. Then they'll give it. Well, that's hypocrisy and extortion. If you don't understand what we're saying in the movement have begun, this free will ain't for you. In no sense, shape, of the word. But the Most High said, I'm going to judge your heart. Go ahead.
Verse 24. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat.
What they do?
Strain at a gnat.
Can y'all imagine, if you had some candy and, you have to be careful because you done got choked off it once in your life. You know how now they eat that piece of hard candy. They're going to stay up at the front, on this side of the jar, that one, but they ain't going back there. Never again. Well, look, it says a small gnat. You strain and swallow in that more than you would that piece of candy that you fear. And this you can barely see. The only most thing you know, it probably, all I know, it went in my mouth, but you can't really tell where you're at. But you're straining at that for breath, like you would a large piece of something in your throat. Go ahead, brother.
Ye blind guides which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel.
And do what?
Swallow a camel.
Y'all see that? It's no problem for you swallowing wrongdoing or agreeing with it. wrong judgment. You swallow it down. Go ahead, bro.
25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites.
What are
Hypocrites.
right?
For ye may clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess.
Look, you may look dressed up. That ain't fooling nobody. Because the inside is getting judged. Look, you can pull a pig out, shower him down, put lipstick on him, and still see. Hit jewels in his ears from Jacob the jewelers. What is it? Because you turn your back, it's going to leap right in a puddle of mud and slop and roll around in it. Because it has no thought of that cleanliness that you're trying to portray on the outside. So let's get on this side. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 26. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup.
Ain't that something, y'all? I don't care what house you go to, if the cups are short, you will look at the outside, but the main thing you're doing like this. Yeah, you showed me the time. Look, you'll do this, but you ain't gonna be doing this until I put something in there good. If that's sufficient on the inside, you're like, okay, I'll put something in there. Go ahead, bro.
Cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
Right?
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto white sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness.
Look, if you're going past Jefferson Barracks and you see all of them little tombstones in a row and they so neat, you be like, boy, and the grass is manicured. You're like, that looks so nice. And then you have to do this. But what's underneath that?
Right.
Dead man bones. Okay. They don't know what it look like. They don't hear the lawnmower going over the top of it. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 28, even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men,
Right?
but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
So, y'all, when we say hypocrisy and iniquity, it means I'm practicing lawbreakers. And when you practice lawbreaking, it brings upon hypocrisy because you're trying to cover up something else. And with that, y'all, we have to say this because now we got a venue with the radio show, and we got a lot of information out there. We got the information superhighway. So we hear a lot of things, man. I saw this out there, man. This guy said that on Facebook. He'll be a part of y'all camp for this and that. Look, we tell the assembly one thing. We have what's called a neutral site. It's called the assembly site. It's called Honor and Humility, STL, and God's Warrior 298. I'll put them up on the board. We also have Mr. Hebrew One, joint brotherhood camp, so to speak. That's a website for that. That's what we had on the radio show. Then we also have brethren that do their private sit-down sessions that they have their own page. But this the bottom line. If their page, wherever it is, don't agree with what we agree on because we don't move until everybody do like this. When we say do, everybody understand what we're saying out there. If y'all shake y'all head, if you don't say nothing, closed mouth don't be fake. Down here, this is Bible study. You ask your question, you ask what's on your heart. You explain it to them. This is what I'm not understanding. It must be there, or we're going to be made to be hypocrites. If we're telling you this is where to look, we don't have no problem with any brother got private stuff out there, they put it on that site, but it has to compare with what we're doing so we don't look like we're hypocrites. We wouldn't stop you from doing your work, but your work has to make sure because we a fellowship and we're saying this, if somebody say that's what they teach down there, but it has to be consistent. So a lot of times these things come with what we call listening. We have to learn to listen and listen to learn. And with that being said, you got to know when we're talking spiritual or we expressing this matter fleshly. If we're talking spiritual, it's got to go. Nothing stands in the way of spiritual. As it's higher than heaven is higher than earth, so it's spiritual against carnal. If we're talking carnal, it's simply we are giving an example of what may be going on in your life, or we're talking about the past deeds of your life, or things. But we don't use law to judge carnal in the sense of trying to make it righteous. You only use the law to judge carnal when it's going off, because the law ain't for a righteous man. That don't mean he don't have to keep the law. That means when he steps in, he already knows. He's examining himself. I know how to behave myself. You don't have to come up to me, Shalom, brother, run off the 10 Commandments for me, brother, no, before we go up in there. Thou shalt love the Lord and all that. No. For what? Who we entertaining? But if one is going off and going left field, then we have to bring it into play. But that's not every single place you go. Why? In the kingdom, it's going to be written in your heart. You ain't going to have to say every man know the law. For everybody that know the law, look, we all in here know the law. We just got to get some understanding of it. Where we at? Can we read some more of that? So with that, y'all, we're just saying that because the subject come up. And a lot of times I'm saying this, we're going to move on. Subjects come up that where we have to do the weightier matters of the law. Is it really at this time to go off into that that's going to keep generating questions? Or do we stay right here where everybody can say, you know what, I can deal with that, I can agree with that. I can't go wrong with that. If I teach it like that, there's no wrong in it. But if you try to bring flesh in to get some understanding, and it brings up another question of flesh, and another question of flesh, and another question of flesh, stick with the scripture. It's going to work no matter what. Because it's true. So, if it comes up, you know, a lot of times, it's coming up about the Garden of Eden. You know, was Cain the son of the devil? Now, was that taught by Camp years ago? Yeah, wholeheartedly without any turn or looking back. Is there enough scriptures to deal with it? Yeah, one can make the case. But spiritual seduction is 100% based off of the wording and the punishment that the Most High is putting down. It's the same punishment in Ezekiel 16th chapter, Ezekiel 23rd chapter. It's the same punishment. You don't get no punishment for this crime over here. Like jaywalking ain't the same time you're going to get for armed robbery. Is it? So in the garden, when he's handing out the punishments are for the crimes that fit. Now you make your assertion to what the Lord is handing out. And to you, this is your sentence. And to you, this is your sentence. So what happens, all three of them was in error and violation of their part in the matter. Can we say spiritually? Without a doubt, he seduced Eve and had his way with her. Can we say, did he have her? And Cain is his child? Not without a lot of questions and concerns. Not without a lot of problems in Genesis 4 and a few others that may be in there that will say, well, what about this right here, Jubilees and Jasher? But can we say he touched her? Yes, all of those words are in there and have to break them down. If you break any of them down, you have to break down desire, which means a strong craving and conception. You got touch, and we know what that means. To excite and to have your way with. And all of this, if it was to a tree, now all of that is for your husband. Are we saying that you can look at an inanimate object and lust for it the same way? Like that pole right there. You look at your woman, look at that pole. I love that pole. So y'all, when we understanding these things, you may look to hear what we are saying straight. And that's what we said. We can't go wrong because we put that out first. So if you hear what we're saying spiritually, then what we say is, unless they clash and you say, that sounded hypocritical, bring it to the phone. But if you hear anybody say, look, we hear y'all teaching this, go on our page and verify. Everything we teach is online. If it don't match up with that, it ain't us. Y'all understand what I'm saying? If it don't line up with us, what's happening down here, what y'all hearing right now as a whole assembly, I don't give a care what's out on Facebook. If you can't go to that and click up on that subject and say right here and say that, somebody have to stand up, correct it, or we have to all be corrected. And if that's the case, that individual will have to come down here and make us out to the assembly so that we get on the right page. Go ahead, brother.
What also, like what I'm hearing him saying too is that, you know, we as a people, like everybody here, when we always talk about raise your hand and stop class at any time, you have to really feel that you can do that. This ain't church where, you know, a whole bunch of us don't know each other. You know what I'm saying? We see each other once a week. But the fact of it is, this is where we come to eat at. This is where we come to worship. This is where we come to study. This is the one body that we are. We have to move at one body. We done had dissenters in here before who've been sitting in here for years disagreeing. And then when they finally get the nerve to start putting out their disagreements, but the world says, but aren't you a part of them? So you make us look like we all agree on what you're saying on your own. If you got any questions about anything, or any time, even if you don't feel like you want to ask that question, pull somebody to the side afterwards. But don't walk out this door without any understanding, with a question mark in your head. Because for, you know, the newer people, when I first came in for years, I was hired Hebrew Israelite. And this brother for years tell me, don't say that. Get them with the script. And it wasn't as prominent back then as it is today, where there's other Hebrew Israelites out here who are non-Messianic. So for you newer people, when you say Hebrew Israelite, the first thing out of your mouth has to be that I believe in Christ.
That's right.
You have to say that because of the detractors that are out there who don't believe.
Right.
I was talking to a brother just 2 days ago at work at the gas pumps, and he was talking about that he was a Christian by choice. Because I gave him a DVD that said Hebrew or so-called Negro, and he automatically knew what that Hebrew meant. He said, that's why I'm a Christian by choice. I know some Hebrew Israelites. I said, do they believe in Christ? He said, no. I said, I do. And his face just lit up. How can that be? From what he knew from listening to his people who have determined him to be a Christian by choice. He's telling me I'm not with what they're talking about. I go to church. So you have to be able to break that down immediately. And when I broke that down immediately, I believe in Christ like you say you do. The whole conversation changed. Now he was willing to listen to me. Because I'm not saying that his Lord don't exist. And that Joseph was his father. So you have to, if you say, or anybody question you and ask you about Hebrew Israelites, you immediately have to say, I believe in Christ. But then they stay on your same side.
Well, and to the point, because it's so many, every time you Wikipedia, y'all know what comes up. All of the bad side of it.
Right.
So you have to think what bro is saying is that's going to be their first thought process. If you tell them, they ask you, what are you? A keeper of the commandments and a follower of Christ.
That's right.
If, or Yeshua, Yahushua, however you name the Messiah, and his father. Those commandments, that's what I am. And then your conversation going to start where if it gets down to it, so what nationality, what's your nation, who are you? Then you can explain Israel with them looking at you, not of what they read off of Wikipedia.
Right.
Before the righteousness that came, is the cup clean. Is the cup clean? Because if they see the cup first, with all of this pretty stuff, and the cup ain't clean on the inside, y'all know what it is. And ain't no need you saying, well, okay, I like it till I can benefit off of it. And then when it's in runner's course, I don't want no more of it.
Right, I'm tired, I'm done.
can't do this. You're practicing an everlasting doctrine. If you don't understand that, what we're talking about, everybody in this room, if it's somebody in here, you don't feel you can live with side by side or got a lot over there or whatever, for everlasting. I'm not talking about once a week. Man, I just put up that nigga till we down there in the serious building for 2, 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes when they get long with me. What about forever? What about forever? Yo, this what you practicing for, or are you wasting your time?
Daily.
If everywhere you look at this nigga, man, anoint my hands before I have to go off. No, you're in it for the wrong thing. This is not camp, have your own way. If we're going to get with orderly, we have to get with order. And that means weighing matters so that if two is at war, you can put a peace to it. No, brothers. Come on, y'all brothers. Or it's going to end up like what happened to Moses. If you don't continue this practice when he broke 2 Hebrews up fighting. Instead of them saying, he like, yo, Hebrews, what's up? Oh, nigga, you gonna kill us like you did the Egyptian? He like, these niggas crazy. So move out of the way so we can continue to kill each other.
We got in children, the Passover rehearsal is starting with the head over now. In children.
And the children that's in the Passover performance.
Short legs.
Sir. Them shoulders right there.
They ready.
Throw that.
Them front line boys
Yeah.
right there. Serious about 20 minutes. Right. It's gonna be a problem. First one's up, like let's get it. Alright, get it done. We it out.
Go ahead, you finish 23.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. Matthew chapter 7. And y'all, if there's anything we saying that sounds like it's flying, just raise your hand, y'all. Because at the end of the day, you have to say, if you say, yeah, but I couldn't understand, I couldn't keep up, we're giving you every opportunity to do that. The same way the disciples, they asked him a question. If he perceived they had a question, he would answer it. But y'all, if it's somebody you gonna be around and you practicing for them to be around for eternity, then you got to present yourself as well as what I be like for eternity. What about me? Think anybody can put up with me for eternity? Matthew chapter 7, verse 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 1. Judge not, that ye be not judged.
Give me that definition of judge. Anybody have anything important? Because, see, we get a lot of things, but man, that you can't judge me, only God can judge me. Only God can judge me. Does that have weight? You have to look at that. And you have to understand that God is the only judge that can say you're not worthy to enter in the kingdom. I can't. Can I judge a matter? Can you judge a matter against me? But it's on me to let no man judge me, meaning put a condemnation on me. No man can do that. Because there's only one that put his life on the line worthy to be able to do that. Yeah. Who got it? Judge.
Definition out of the is G2919 in the concordance. It says that properly to distinguish, that is decide, mentally or judicially, by implication or try, condemn, punish, avenge, conclude, condemn, damn, decree, determine, esteem, judge to go, sue at the law, ordain, call in question, sentence to life.
I ain't understand none of that.
Yeah, we just said condemn.
Read it a little slow.
That was for the Matthew 23. I mean,
I know. I said, just read it a little slow so we can hear it. What is it saying?
Okay, so properly to distinguish.
Properly to distinguish. That's weighing a matter justly. Go ahead.
That is decide, mentally or judicially,
Mentally or what?
Judicially.
Okay, so from the mind or by the laws presented. Go ahead.
By implication, to try, condemn, punish, avenge, conclude, condemn, damn, decree, determine, esteem, judge to go, sue at the law, ordain, call in question, sentence to think.
So when you see all of that sentencing and condemns and damns,
And that's what they say.
we can't judge from that perspective.
We gonna give you this amount of time to think about what you did.
Yeah.
Sentence to think.
We can't judge from that perspective. That's just like calling ourselves rabbi or reverend.
I got judgment out of the
What it
Zondervan.
say?
In the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it says a word found many times in the Bible, referring sometimes to the pronouncing of a formal opinion or decision by men, but more often to the calamity regarded as sent by Yahweh, the way of punishment.
A way of what?
Punishment, or a sentence of Yahweh as the judge of all.
Or a sentence of, just like he was reading about sentences, a sentence of the Most High. What am I going to do? What? Oh, you can't be doing that again. I'm going to sentence you to hell. Since when I get that power? And if they do like this, well, you going with me.
Right. I'll send you. We're going together.
Right. Then I'm looking like you same boat. Go ahead.
Among the more important judgments of Yahweh prior to the Exodus are those upon Adam and Eve and the serpent.
Those upon who?
Adam and Eve.
Go ahead.
And the serpent after the fall.
Y'all see this? How it's talking about the judgments of them after the fall, the punishments for the crimes they commit. If all you did was listen to somebody and you covering up your secret areas, something else went on, whether it's mentally or not, because it's going to have to look, even if it ain't the accident, you can walk in a room and you can see the countenance of two people of the opposite sex. You're like,
Cuckoo wag.
my eyes locked and looking like y'all was soulmates for a minute. I couldn't even get through that. No, nothing like that. Right. So you know, mentally, you're working on the plan. Go ahead.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and who?
Gomorrah.
And this was before Mount Sinai, before the law. So what were they judged for? Before the law given to, let me say, the Israelites coming out of Egypt. Because the law was given to Adam and to every heavenly being in the heavens before the earth was created. They were given the law, but under different priesthoods. Melchizedek at the beginning, Aaron in the middle, and Melchizedek to ride it through eternity. Go ahead, where we at?
And the
You
confusion.
got a question?
Is Melchizedek, is that same as Shem?
Shem was a Melchizedek high priest, but he's not Melchizedek. There's an order like Aaron, there's an order of Aaron. It ain't really Aaron's order. Aaron didn't do these laws. Aaron was punished by these laws. So it's an order. Adam was a Melchizedek priest. His son Seth, Enos, and on Methuselah, all the way up to Jacob going into Egypt. Melchizedek was reigning. Even up until the time that we come out and we had to be re-educated. That's where the order of Aaron came as a nation of people.
So they came in the wilderness.
Right, so coming out of there before the word was starting to go forth, it was already in Egypt because the Most High never left us without his word. It was there, but we had no order like we are here in America today and the other scattered in the four corners of the earth. The law is there. It's just being camouflaged by something else. So just like you see the Bible in the courtroom, is that. Everything weighs off of that when it comes down to weighing the matter. Put your hand on her and you're going to weigh this matter according to a solemn sworn oath. Public Law 97-280 says that the Bible is the book of the law of the Most High God in the world, according to the world rulers. Now, are they keeping that? That's a whole different subject, but what do they have on the books? So it's without excuse, y'all. It may come a time that where you say, what you got on the books up there in Capitol Hall tells me I can't take the mark of the beast. Now, if y'all gonna kill me, y'all know the repercussions of what y'all got up in y'all legislation about our Father. That's been wherever we've been captive. The law has been there enough to sustain us, to keep us from losing. We didn't know, it wasn't like we didn't know who we were in Egypt. The 12 tribes knew who they were, but we lost our culture. We lost our how to weigh the weightier matters of how to live with each other. Because that's where we was going to get back to, how to live with each other. And y'all, we're doing a terrible job at that. Terrible job. Yeah, terrible. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 1. Judge not, that ye be not judged.
Right.
For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged.
So the Most High say, however you render the matter, you're saying that's how I want to be judged. The same way with America. If you put the Most High's word up in your legislation and say it reigns supreme on planet Earth, and you're judging this way, then that's the way the Most High say, I'm going to judge them. According to your own way you judge. This don't mean, do I not say that? Oh, I don't want to make it. I just ain't going to judge the matter. Your judgment has to stay without saying, I'm going to put you in the lake of fire. If those words come out of your mouth, you know, unless it's a hate of God and you have perfect hatred, but you still don't come out of your mouth what's the end thereof for that punishment, you can say it in your speech. May he go the way of Judas Iscariot for the crimes committed. That's just the first death. You want to talk about first death, you can talk those things. But when you're talking about spiritual death, there's only one rabbi. There's only one reverend, so to speak. They get to call that shots. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just quick, when you have time to read Psalms 18, 24 to 26.
Hold that, man. Somebody else get it. Yeah. Psalm 18.
Yeah.
Verse what?
24 to 26.
What's that concern, brother?
The same thing.
Saying not judge.
Book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 24. Therefore hath the Most High recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands and his eyesight. With the
24 to 26. Right.
verse 25.
Okay.
With the merciful.
With that what?
With the merciful. Thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright.
See what they're saying? Look, what you give out is what you only expect to receive back. So if somebody's in your space and you don't feel like you get that from them, there's only one way to do it. You can demand it verbally. But if you get to that point, if it get to violence or whatever, you have to make decisions on that. If there's going to be a decision that I'm going to have to deal with while I'm living on, breathing this oxygen. Sometimes it's quick thinking matters. But if you go home in your car, your decision probably was pretty good. But if you go away in their car, there may be some problems. I'm going to the police. We'll contact you if we need to. Thank you. Right. But if you like, oh, tell her to take it down to Central. It could have been the wrong judge. Or it could have been just what it is, an attack from Satan. But at least the matter will be handled out the way it's supposed to go down, according to the Most High. I will repay if that's the deed. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 25 again.
What it say?
With the merciful, thou wilt show thyself mercy.
Right.
And with an upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright.
Right.
With the pure, thou wilt show thyself pure. And with the froward, thou wilt show thyself froward. For thou wilt save the afflicted people, but will bring down high looks.
Okay, so, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's just talking about do as to other. It's the two greatest commandments. Love the Lord all your heart, mind, and soul, and treat your neighbor as yourself. How you want to be treated, that's what you have to give out. If you don't like it, and it stings, and you watch it sting somebody else, then be prepared when you fall off. That same sting comes, the exact sting. That sting. And such guy come, ooh. When you do this, ooh, and you ain't there, then that's what'll happen. Somebody else will be doing that for you, but you'll be feeling it consistently. So understand that. Go ahead, brother. What you got? Sirach?
Yeah.
And this is just Sirach chapter 2, verse 17, 18, just to let you know about the Most High's mercy. Sirach chapter 2, y'all. We're just going there right quick to show you how the Most High, so that when we continue on, y'all, we're going to move on, of how the judgment is when you weigh in a matter. Righteousness has to tip the scales.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, verse 17.
Yeah.
They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight.
What they gonna do?
Prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight.
So when you prepare your heart, what does that take to prepare for something? Huh? That means you got to get in shape for it. You got to get in shape with this spiritual war. You're dealing with supernatural demons that's coming at you, whether you believe it or not. If they don't come to you while you woke, they sure gonna visit you while you sleep. And which one you gonna think be worse? When you done kick them covers up to the ceiling fan and breathe in heavy. What's the matter with it? I had a bad dream. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 18. Saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord,
right,
and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is.
As his what?
For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
So is his what?
So is his mercy.
So the Most High say his majesty and mercy are equal. They're just balanced. They ride like this. So his power that he has to judge and his mercy, if he grants you mercy, you know it wasn't about nothing you did. He just say, I'm going to give you a pass. Well done, servant. Come on in. But you know, like Hebrews say, the righteous shall scarcely be saved. So where does the sinner and the ungodly stand? So when you get in, you're like, whoo. But to say that now, I've talked with the Lord last night, and he's ensured me that my name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. I got a bridge to say you that.
That's right.
Go over to luxurious kingdom.
You believe that? You do.
Let's go. Where we at?
Book of Matthew, chapter 7. Book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 2. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet,
right,
it shall be measured to you again.
Right.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?
Look at that. Y'all see what he's saying? He's saying a mote. You consider it a mote that's in his brother's eye. A mote is just a little piece of wood or whatever. But he said a beam in your eye. A beam is what's holding this building up. It's the support system. Those are beams that run across the basement. The support system of the house, that's in your eye, but you looking at him, he got a little speck in there.
You're just as guilty. You're just as guilty as the one you bring in judgment.
Right. But yours is double the weight. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye. Thou hypocrite.
Thou what?
Thou hypocrite.
Right.
First, cast out the beam out of thine own eye.
That's right.
And then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's house.
See, you have to see clear before you do it. This is why the law taught. If somebody was being judged and you were part of that particular crime, or currently, I should say currently involved in the same situation, you can't be a member of that to cast jury. It's the same thing that all the court is doing is copying ways of the Bible. They just, it's with deception though. But a jury of your peers is what it always was. Israelites is the juries of the nation of people that you're around. They're supposed to be following the same law. They'll make the judgment. But when they go through, how do you feel about Leroy slapping Bertha upside the head with a skillet? I don't like it one damn bit. Well, according to a court document 2 years ago, you hit your woman so hard, her wig still ain't been turned back around yet. Oh, yeah, that was when I was in my backsliding days, but I'm righteously X off the court. You can't be on here making no judgment. As soon as he said on the phone, I told him about running her mouth all the time, and he jump up, me too! No, so you couldn't be out there like that. No. So anyway, go ahead.
Verse 6. Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dog.
Do what?
Give not that which is holy unto the dog.
Look, y'all, the dogs are those who hate our Messiah.
Right.
They don't want to hear nothing about it. That's a different way of matter when you're bringing something that may sound new to a group of people. So when you bringing them the true law, because every doctrine out here say you don't have to worry about the law anymore. It's done away with. It's been nailed to the cross. So basically you're saying we can do whatever we want to do.
Right.
And God's okay with it. No, well, you have to do right, but what is do right called? Doing what God tell you, well, what is that written at? It's all over where? What's the address? Until they say it's in the Bible. That's all I need you to say from the start. But anybody who don't want to hear that, after the first and second admonition, you should know. I'm not going to give this to a dog because he's going to do what dogs do with anything. It's the same meat to him. It don't matter how he gets paid. A dog ain't going to put on a beard because you give him money.
Right.
No. Some holy meat here.
You give a good mower.
And slide his kibbles and bits over and put on a beard. No. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Give not that which is holy to the dogs. Right. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine.
If y'all don't understand when the Most High called his word pearls, his truth and honor pearls. Yo, these are the top of the chain gifts that you would get in this corner life. Pearls, they supersede certain what we're talking about, stones, gifts of stones. He said, don't give that to nobody who don't want it. You can't make them eat it if they don't want it. Right. If they don't want wine, they don't want a wine. Go ahead.
Lest they trample them under their feet.
Lest they do what?
Trample them under their feet.
Look, y'all, they will trample the word under the feet right before you because you forced them to do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They don't know how to keep it. They basically hate it. So how do you expect them to do right and they hate what's going on? You're going to always kick against the pricks. Because you're like, I didn't want this. You forced this on me. And you know when you do. Because it's certain words they will tell you that ought to let you know to back off. Here you come. Here you come. That's damn Bible. That's damn Bible. And you trying to steal. Come on, Uncle Junior, I'm just trying to let you know. Uncle Junior, after the second and third ammunition, leave Uncle Junior alone. And give it to somebody else that wants it.
Right, is looking for it.
Cousin Billy or the neighbor next door to Cousin Billy they may want. I heard what you were trying to tell Junior. I've been listening to you, I've been watching. Come over Thursday. Yeah, come on Thursday, we can break bread. That's what you need to look for.
Right.
Because if you keep warring after Junior, you may be wanting something that Junior got. Maybe because everybody else look up to Uncle Junior. And you want to take Uncle Junior down.
Right.
Not that this you ain't going to do that. Go ahead.
Take Uncle out.
Right.
And turn again and rent you.
And do what?
Turn again and rent you.
And it'll cause you to be home. When you keep trying to shove it down their throat. Y'all, this is milk and honey. Milk for a baby, which is good for them. Y'all see how they be nursing. And honey for a grown man. You can't give honey to a baby. That's every law, but honey is the only food source on planet Earth that don't spoil. 3,000 years old, you can dip your fingers in it and eat it just like it was yesterday. That's what the kingdom is. It compares it to your beginning to everlasting. Milk for the baby and honey for everlasting. So y'all need to understand it. Go ahead, but a lot of if you sipping on milk right now, and you've been in this walk and different things, and you weightier matters like this, you're still a baby. You know, and you have to understand these things. People are going to see if you taste the milk or honey. Go ahead, bro.
On top of that, a dog and a swine can't discern between what's good. Like, you can throw a gold chain over in the pig trough and it'll get treated like brother said, those piddles and poodles and noodles.
Yeah,
whatever. Or any kind of the top dog food that dogs eat.
Right.
They don't discern, so then you bring these heavenly jewels to folk. Like, look, turn from the Most High, repent, keep the commandments, get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? Act like a child of God.
Right.
And they looking at you like you speaking Chinese. You feel me? In spirit, they're a pig or a dog.
Right.
So you got to arrive at the point to know when you know what, let me quit talking to them.
Right.
Next time we had this conversation, you won't have to bring it up. Because they looking at these heavenly jewels like it's nothing.
Right.
Like a pig will look at your gold chain you threw over there. Or your diamond ring that you love so much. A pig will eat that.
We'll show try to eat.
A pig will eat you if you was dead. Over in the middle of that trough. He'll sniff you, turn you over, and then have a master you.
Oh, you ain't got to be dead. Let her steal on you.
Right.
So in spirit, we got to understand who we're dealing with. Sometimes you're dealing with folks that are dogs. Or that are pigs, you know what I'm saying? You could be related to some pigs, some dogs, or whatever.
Like life.
Right. You only gonna know when you come and drop these jewels and they look at it like it's nothing. After the second or third time, you don't get all hurt behind it. You got to keep it moving. Search for the lost sheep that want these jewels.
Search for who, brother?
The lost sheep. Right? And you know it because you'll drop something on him and his eyes, and you see the light turn on.
Those
And I knew it. I knew something was that, man. I knew my whole life. I remember you feel like those are the people you fishing for.
Those that have ears will hear.
Right, those that's kicking against him 2 or 3 times, no matter how much love you got for him, in spirit he may be a pig.
Right.
Or he may be a dog. He can't discern between jewels and dog food.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's for you at that point to have wisdom, be like, you know what? It's time to keep it moving.
Right.
Right, we got to get to that point.
And see, and to know that where you can't last then, like you say, rent yourself. Man, I try to turn that to hell with that nigga, to the lake of fire for you. You have to be extra careful when you make those statements if it ain't perfect hatred. Psalm 139, 21 and 22, y'all have to truly understand what perfect hatred is. It ain't player hatred. And you get up and you sip from the fountain of haterade and then go out on the ground. Where we at?
Verse 7, Matthew 7:7. Ask and it shall be given you.
Do what?
Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find.
Right.
Knock and it shall be opened unto you.
Go ahead.
For everyone that asketh receive.
Right.
And he that seeketh find.
So a closed mouth don't get faith.
Right.
If you don't ask, you won't receive. Y'all down here, if it's something flying over y'all head, throw your hand up in the air and say, I don't. How are you going to be? How two going to work together if they disagree? How you going to be, yeah, they cool and everything, and they said food out, but, you know, when they were talking about that, I just don't agree with that. How you going to do that? It's going to always be conflicting. Go ahead.
For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened.
Go ahead, read the next two.
Or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent?
Look at that. So if somebody asks you about the word of God, will you give them those things or will you give them the pearls?
Right.
What you gonna do? Go ahead.
If ye then being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask him?
See, so the Most High say, look, don't be worried about cause the atheist may have a new car. Hell, that atheist may be getting up and going working at the plant for 40 hours. That's his work, and you do these things. That's automatic. But you can't be jealous of that because of that. That's, the blessing is go to work. That's what he said for every man. That's across the board. So that we understand that spiritually, go to work. And you be rewarded the same way. But he's saying if they know how to get good gifts, you think you're going to be just longing at those who oppose God, and you, what next but to oppose God too, if you're longing for those things? That's why we can't cover another man's gifts. I wish that was mine. I wish she was mine. I wish he was mine. But if you coveting like that, get your own, like Paul said, 1 Corinthians 7:7. Let every man have his own. Every woman have her own. So we cut a lot of confusion out.
Hey, look, you notice when he was saying that, look, if you know how to give good gifts, what make you think your father don't know how to help you up?
Right.
Like if your child asks you right now and you know your child really needed something,
that's right.
You don't make it happen. Right? Your child will have faith enough to come ask you because they believe you, they parent. They can get it done.
Right.
Right? So if your child got the faith to ask you for something and they know you're going to deliver, how come you ain't got that same faith and not even more for the Most High? Right? If you know how to hook your child up, say his stomach hurt, well, you got some remedies going, hook the baby up so his stomach don't hurt. What make you think our Father in heaven gonna renege on his word, his promise? If you know how to do good when asked of you, but the Lord can't. It don't make sense. We kind of be selling the Lord short.
Put them on the background.
Yeah, with our mindset and, what I'm saying, what we think of, we be selling them short. Right? But your own children don't sell you short.
Right.
All right, where we at, huh?
We done finished that? Okay, y'all going right to Proverbs chapter 20. And y'all, we're going to get into some weighing the matters of certain issues so we can get into them. We're going to get into David's mindset that Acts 13 verse 22, 23 said David's mind was like the heart of the Most High. So we're going to get into that mind of mercy and judgment. Did David do wrong? Yeah, David did wrong a couple times, but not once is it ever recorded that David turned his back on the law. Right. Look, we gonna sin, but it's if you turn your back on the law, if you don't try to get back in his good grace, like you do if you get thrown out the house. You know you ain't coming back there unless you get good grace. And you apologize, Mama, I know that. They may still be scowling, but they'll open the door. Come on in there, your room's still there.
That's like she sound.
That sound want to let you know it'll be like this the second you go back to that BS. D-E-D-A-D-O. That's dope.
Damn, no. How was shot? You got something? You got a question?
Just a quick precept that goes with that as far as being quick on watching how you judge, because you're going to be judged the same way. It's out of that first volume of Superpoppers, page 347, if anybody want to go and check it out for themselves. Verse 989. It says, the things which God gave you, give of them to one in need. Every life of men is common, but falls out unequal.
Right.
When you see a poor man, never mock him with words, and do not verbally abuse a person who is at fault. Life is assessed in death. Whether one acted lawlessly or righteously will be distinguished when one comes to judgment.
That's right. Yes, that is. So y'all, you see what the scripture do. They don't need our support. All we're doing is just adding to the context of what we're doing, and it's the weightier matter. Y'all look, this is what's happening in court. When you give it to the jurors, and we hear the jurors, and we're weighing these out without a shadow of a doubt before we make a judge. Because the Most High hasn't given us the spirit to discern the hearts of men. He says, wait to hear what comes out of their mouth. Be it and observe before you make a judgment. He has the power to know what you were thinking when you did. See, because we like to start down the road with what happened. See, what happened was,
The two dudes, right?
but you done traveled from this far. The Most High is beyond that. Before you got in the car, He gonna judge what you were thinking before you got in the car.
Man, what?
So for us to keep from just hurling accusations, we have to hear what comes out of the individual mouth, and then we make a judgment based off of the comparable events in the scripture, because we just read. There's nothing uncommon to rich or poor. It's the same example. One just got a lot of money, one don't, but the same situations are falling on both. Y'all know any rich people, when you get a certain amount of paper, you don't die?
Ain't happening.
Who ain't calling Austin Lane because they got $1 billion?
Wise man die like a fool.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Proverbs 20, you said.
Yeah, Proverbs 20 and 11. Book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 11. Y'all, we're going to get in a couple situations where David had to discern what was going on in his life. One was both good and one was terrible. But they were from the heart, and we'll see how it is played out. So that's why a man got to be able to examine himself, and a woman. I know me. I should know me better than you know me. The only one know me better is the Most High. I'm second after the high priest Christ of knowing who I am. Because the Father is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of who? Man is the head of woman, woman the head of children, and on down the line, but there's perfect order. Go ahead. 20 Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 11. Hold on, bag it up a little bit for me. Bag it up a little bit. 5, and we'll go back 5. Let's go 5. Verse 5. Counsel in the heart of a man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. See, most men will tell you, you know, you hear some things, I take care of my kids, and so we're going to go get a trophy or bag. You man, you supposed to take care of them. You can't, how you promote that to me, them yours. Go ahead. Verse 7. The just man walketh in his integrity. What he walk in? In his integrity. Right. His children are blessed after him. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean? Who can say what? I have made my heart clean. I am pure from my sin. Who can say that in this room? But these little shorties under the age of accountability.
Who in here thinking about sin?
Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong, y'all. If you go over the day, you say, okay, I ain't got that but to say. Okay, because I've been walking this walk, you are the greatest nation that ever existed on planet Earth. Maybe a different walk if we was, ISIS was around running loose in the neighborhood. And they all, like you say, bro. But I'm talking about where there's nobody to even put a shield up against them.
No freedom of the neck.
Right, absolutely. It'd be rough on you. And then your test comes like Sirach say, Ecclesiasticus, right? Chapter 2, verse 1. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare your heart for temptation or trials. Get your heart ready for what's coming to try to stop you from gaining the kingdom. But that's got to be you. How bad do you want it? You want it again? You go to the gym to work out for this fleshly body. You got to go to the gym for this script. Right.
Getting them biceps together.
Boy, you got to be throwing jabs at Ezekiel 29. All the other don't matter. Boy, you be laying in the casket like this, bust out.
That's right. Slow.
Where we at?
We Proverbs 20, verse
Right.
10. Verse 10. Divers weights, divers measures.
Right.
Both of them are a like abomination to the Lord. Even a child is known by his doom.
Hold on. Y'all know what that means? Divers weights and divers measures. What he's saying is like, I'll try to keep this clean. It's weights and measures. Don't cheat nobody.
Right.
So we know there's things that we weigh and measure. Don't cheat nobody. You have to remember what he said. That is an abomination to him.
Right. And on the spiritual tip, on the above measures, the scripture say let everything be sitting on a firm foundation. Everything must be proven by minimum 2 witnesses. If you are proving something with 1 witness, and you know because you may have heard that, you don't want to give this or you don't have a second one, you're dealing in divers measures. Right. There are different kinds. You're trying to do it from this way. A just measure is what a just measure going to be. Divers measure, what I understand what you're saying, is the mindset that I'm cheating somebody out of something. Yeah. They ain't going to know the difference. Yeah. They don't do this regularly. See, you start talking so much, your commercial is long. You don't have to do
Salesman.
Right.
And also from what we read earlier is like in the law, in the court of law. You know that if you got money, you can buy a high-powered lawyer and get off.
That's right.
If you got a public defender, you in trouble. You know, and why is that? That's not right. That's not right. Two people commit the same crime, but one of them got a better lawyer. He get to walk, and the other one go to jail.
Right.
For the same crime.
Yeah.
That's not right measures.
Those are divers measures. Absolutely.
Hey, so look, this Proverbs 11:1. To bring it into a full circle, it says a false balance is abomination to the Lord.
What is it?
False balance.
Do y'all understand that? A false balance is when you ain't looked at the other side of the coin. When somebody say, oh, well, what about this right there? Oh, well. Look, that same thing I'm talking about, like the fleet doctrine. Ain't nothing wrong if you got it like that, you want to pack it up and you say, I'm going to the Holy Land to live, that's fine and dandy. But if you say it's a commandment of the Lord for us to drop everything, just get up and go and don't know how we're going to do that, and I got issues with this law over here, and you're going to go to hell if you don't do it just like that, all we ask Lord, brother, is what about the people that's locked up on the free case? Can they go to the ward and tell him the same thing? If you don't think about them and then you ask that person, well, what about them right there? Because everybody came out of Egypt, even rotten David. He got to come out. He's the one got iron to make the golden calf in the bottom of the mountain. He got to come out. So we would leave somebody in jail on a free case, you know, the Lord will deal with that. The Lord don't deal with that. Those are divers measures. Those are 2 different doctrines. You want to go home so bad, but yet you'll use corruptness. You talking about a corrupt system that you're going to leave, but you getting over here with stolen passports. Right. And somebody else has checked you in cash.
Trying to get you right.
And then you're going to weigh this like this, and I'm supposed to look at, so if we need to, we can steal. So we can do all the wrongdoing in a nation that's allied with the nation that we running from. It don't make sense, y'all. Go ahead.
Yeah. So with a false balance, you got the wrong sense of what the weight is.
Right.
So all we was agricultural people, right? The brother said something about the scale earlier. So we would put so much wheat on the scale.
That's right.
And your wheat should weigh this for this much.
Right.
You put so much corn on the scale. This is how much corn you're supposed to get for this much. Right. But you could read that scale to where it don't weigh what it weighs.
Say it again.
You could read the scale to where it don't weigh what it weighs. So somebody might be thinking he's getting a whole bundle of barley, but he getting like a half a bundle.
Right.
Right, so dealing with the Lord, that's a false judge and abomination.
Yeah.
Right, so then look, you take it spiritually. Like if something's on the scale and you getting the wrong weight on it, and you looking at it, that means your judgment is off.
Right.
Like you like, okay, that's 100 pounds.
Right.
But really it's 50 pounds.
That's right.
Right, and then you got somebody buying it. So even in the spiritual level of judgments on something, you got to be fair and balanced in your judgment. Right. You can't be like, look, stone the whore. Right. And you deal with whores. Right. You can't be on some stone the whore. Right. But you deal with whores though. Right. You see what I'm saying? You can't be stone the adultery and you adultery yourself. You can't do it. You see what I'm saying? That's a false judgment spiritually, or a false balance. And it went from the spirit even down to the physical. We was forms. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came and gave you bought 100 pounds of corn, but he read the scale, you only got 50. Right. So he's hustling you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Same thing spiritual wise.
And when you gonna find out? When them 10 children you got at home, 2 of them ain't got nothing in their boat. You know, wait a minute.
Oh boy got a janky scale. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't get product from him no more. It's scale off.
Right. And you call him, look, you was short. Man, I wasn't short. You saw the measurement, they go all in the...
Get a nickel out. Put your nickel on your scale. Right. Huh? Boy, say y'all know that. Go back there laughing. Tear it out.
There's some forms back there. Some forms.
They understand. You understand?
Let's get it where we at. Proverbs 20:5. What we get around? Let me finish up verse 10. Okay.
Verse 10. Divers weight, divers measures. Both of them are like abomination unto the Lord.
Right.
Even a child is known by his doing.
A child is what?
Known by his doing.
Okay.
Whether his works be pure or whether it be right.
See, because you have to train up a child the way you should go. So a child is known. He's a representative of you. So we have to understand that. So this lets you know that something you may think a child was doing, it may be something a child saw. Because children mimic you. He always acted like a little girl. Even when he was 5, maybe he saw something
that you was doing
that had a man looking like a girl. And if you don't know, look, they can be 6 months old, they can watch you do something and go right by. You put it up there, they're looking how to move and get up there and get there. You're like, this baby is so smart. There's a new database, and Satan will attack at that age. What do you care about killing? All the slaughtering 2 and under, how many times? What you think he care about a baby? You think, oh, Satan is going to take, oh, no, that's where I draw the line. We don't let kids. Right. Drawing no line. Satan will kill your baby and throw it at the door. When you hear the thump, you open it up there, they'll be dead. That's how he played. Yeah. Where we at? Let me keep reading. 11.
Verse 12. The hearing ear and the seeing eye. The Lord hath made them both. Have even, hold on, let me read it again. The hearing ear and the seeing eye. The Lord hath made even both of them.
Right.
Love not sleep.
Love not what?
Love not sleep. Lest thou come to poverty.
Right.
Open thy eyes. Open thy eyes. And thou shalt be satisfied with bread.
Look, it says if you wake up to this, and this is on the spiritual level first. Don't be sheep to this knowledge, y'all. Same way if you keep waking up at 2:30. The trucks come. Ain't no trucks out there at 2:30, and the trucks are coming back in. Y'all left without me again. Right. Proverbs chapter 24. 3 and 4. Back up with your knees. 3 or 4? Yeah. And then we're going to get into, now when we talking about the weightier matters of the law, some of you may look at it and say that ain't right. But that just ain't right. No, things are weighed out in the balance when you're in the middle or it's coming to you. And you got to make sure you don't get the bad end from either side. That's why, y'all, we ain't marriage counselors. Right. We don't hold marriage camps. Ain't no Negro Dr. Fields around here. Now, Leroy, now you know to come home with only one bundle of roses. Come on. Give up lunch for me. And y'all see what happened on Dr. Field? I have a man sitting there getting wore out.
Right.
Y'all, we ain't in that business, y'all. We ask you a simple question. Rush, this and that, the law, well, I'm getting law. You can't kill him. So what else we do? You can't pause him. You can't do that. Now where we at? Well, man, all them options are off the table because that's the only thing I ain't listening to none of that. Where we at now? Can you deal with this for the rest of your life? Because that's what marriage is, eternity. It don't mean you can't never, divorce is there in case you can't do that. But when you get into it, it's for eternity because the marriage supper of the Lamb is for eternity. Adam and Eve marriage was supposed to be for eternity because it was played out in eternity. It was in the Garden of Eden. So y'all, we got to think from that mindset. Let's read what we at.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 24. I'm going to read. We start at verse 1. Verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men.
Be not what?
Thou envious against evil men.
Do you watch Empire and want to be Lucius Lyon?
Oh,
So you smile. Go get relaxing for your hair. It's a little rough. Talking rough. Got a pistol turned in your waistband back. Like the old school. Get back. Go ahead.
Be not thou envious against evil men.
Right.
Neither desire to be with them.
Neither what?
Desire to be with them.
What you want to run with them for? When death comes, you think it's going to give you a party? You ride in the car with evil man, you think death going to knock it away? Everybody out except.
What you?
But the righteous man.
You got to be like Trey and Boys in the Hood. Let me out the car, though.
Let me out the car. Let me out the car.
Hey, look, man, let me out the car, though. This ain't me. Slaying, and I got it coming right back in 2 weeks. Look, y'all, we got to get our mindsets. Sin don't go away by itself. You have to quit. It's like you can watch Boys in the Hood every day. Ricky ain't gonna make it. So you gotta put sin away. It ain't gonna go away by itself.
Yeah, man, our mind of the 25th anniversary.
Really? Just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that was 92.
Yeah. Watch it again.
Ricky ain't gonna make it.
That dude with that cap on backward and scowling gonna have that same anger.
He gonna have the same thing.
Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 2. For their heart study of destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
The heart study of destruction. Y'all know what evil men do. Everything they talk about is harm. Harming someone else. Harming yourself. For what? Filthy lucre's sake? Go ahead. Verse 3.
Through wisdom is a house built.
Through what is built?
Through wisdom is a house built.
Y'all see through wisdom. Through making wise decisions. Shalom, bro. To make wise decisions about what you gonna do. Yeah, to make wise decisions. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Wise decisions. Well, let's read. Where we at?
Verse 3. Through wisdom is a house built.
Right.
And by understanding.
And by what?
by understanding it is established.
Right?
And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in the multitude of counselors there is safety.
Look, when you thinking about something wise, when you talking about going to war, I got children, you ain't got none. We got this many weapons over here, we got none. And you like, man, let's just go for broke. You ain't building nothing but death and destruction. When you outnumbered, you know you got prayer. You know that can work. All throughout the scriptures. If you don't believe in prayer, why you doing it? What, you just getting it out of the way? Oh, 3 times a day, where I'm at? Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
Let me see. I won't. Absolutely. Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool.
Wisdom is what?
Wisdom is too high for a fool.
Look, so Satan doesn't have wisdom. Evil does not have wisdom. Because they're foolish. And fool means cannot come to the knowledge and understanding. That's why we're never to call a man a fool. But when the Most High said it cannot come to the knowledge. Even if it did at this point, it's doing it no good. So Satan ain't gonna never help us out. Because he's got the death penalty. And it's already been stamped. So do you think he's gonna help you out? No, y'all, that show that come on every Monday evening, Lucifer Morning Star, they trying to water him down and make him a little bit more human for him. Yeah. But it's still laying the law out there. Are you going to believe this masquerader? That's what you're looking at, and what he's trying to do is con you into believing I shouldn't have been thrown out. Because he keeps saying, my father, he played favorites. We get mad at that. That's the weightier matter we get mad at. Nigga, he ain't your father, you the devil. It is his father. Ain't it?
He made it.
He made it, didn't he? But what we ought to be mad at is how they slipping that right in front of us. Why are we mad about what he's saying? On the truthful part, that's what he do. That's how he grab you in. But we done flipped it around the other way. We mad when he say truth. Well, the way he's saying it hurt your feelings. It's just like if somebody from the church quote the scripture, do you get mad because he goes to church and he's quoted for your life? You can't say that, you're a church man. Son, where I'm at, thou shalt not kill. I ain't listening to no church man. Okay? So you reject the commandments can come anywhere. Christ told the Pharisees, the Most High can make men out of stone, out of rocks, and they will worship. Who do you think you are? Let's read it.
Verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He opened not his mouth in the gate. He that deviseth to do evil.
He that do what?
Deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person.
And this is how, y'all, when we're weighing the matters, you're going to know if it's a mischievous person. Because they're not going to go back to the beginning of this issue. There's something called root always used in every discernment. The Most High say, I'm the root and the offspring of David. I'm the beginning of David. So how y'all going to talk to me after David? You got to talk before David. I was before David. I'm before the earth was created. I was in on that. So how you going to talk new doctrine to me middle of the road? Go ahead.
Verse 9. The thought of foolishness.
The thought of what?
The thought of foolishness is sin.
Do y'all see this? Y'all see what we had up here? If you think foolishness is sin, you ain't even put your hand to it yet. What is sin?
Transgression of the
law. So you can think transgression of the law.
Act it out in your mind too.
That's when the Messiah said, if y'all even think to look upon a woman,
Go ahead.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men.
Scorner is an abomination to me. Somebody always blaming somebody else. But that's abomination to a man, because every time man, do you ever have any good news? Man, how your kids doing? Your children, I should say. How your children doing? Oh, yes, well, glad you mentioned it. Go ahead.
Verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
Thy strength is what?
Thy strength is small.
You know, this is why the Most High has us hold our hands up like a child. A child will follow you around the room like this, you know, to pick them up. No, you push their hands back down. They hold their strength up there. That's Psalm 79. It's a strength test. Your arms was feeling it. If they start going down like this, push them back up. Like a child does for his parent. Pick me up. Lift me up. We'll get low. We'll start having our hands right here. I ain't holding your hands high to the heaven. Hold them up there. When it's done, it's done. Put them down. But you won't feel them tingling.
Yeah,
It ain't doing nothing but strengthening you up.
Yeah, you be all right.
Because you're going to be doing a lot of that in this land. A lot of it. Go ahead.
Verse 11. If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain. If thou say, behold, we knew it not, doeth not. He that pondereth the heart considereth, and he that keepeth thy soul doeth not, he knoweth. And shall not he render to every man according to his works?
Right. So, now you can hold right there, but what we're saying is what the scripture is saying is that, look, every man judges himself. You know where he can go. Like you said, if you know this ain't for me, I'm getting straight A's in chemistry. What the hell am I doing in the backseat of Doe Boy's car? This ain't me. Let me out the car, though. Who taxes you think you're going to be doing in prison? Brother, you receive great commissary here. That'll get you 2 days out of the infirmary. You can hold that. Ecclesiastes 11 in the Bible. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Now, then I just want to read one more. We're going to get right to the heart of the matter. Some 2 Samuel 4 and some 2 Samuel 12. And we're going to see a matter played out here so intense with lives involved and decision making when your life's on the line. Start at verse 3. Who's that? Yeah. Read it back. No, don't read that. Huh? Read that in 9? You see how it is? Huh?
You in 11?
You said Ecclesiastes 11. No, Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 11. My bad. Chapter 11. Yeah. Verse 9. Chapter 11, verse 9. Okay, we'll bag it up to 6. My bad, y'all. That sometimes will kick in on me. It ain't all the time. Yeah.
More often times.
More often times. I hear you, bro. That's up on the board. That's up, man.
I'm trying to figure.
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong, but then it wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm true. Out of the book of Ecclesiastes,
Talking about himself.
chapter 11, verse 9.
Yeah.
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
I'm having some something.
Right.
In the morning, sow thy seed.
In the morning, do what?
Sow thy seed.
So we here again, get up early, y'all. Go ahead.
And in the evening, withhold not thy hand. For thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good.
Right.
Truly the light is sweet.
What is sweet?
Truly the light is sweet.
Uh-huh.
And a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun.
Y'all, it does something to you, but it's not to be worshipped. The sun. Egyptology is sun worship. Filtered down to Roman Catholicism is sun worship on Sunday. So, y'all, we have to look at a lot of things. When you see the sun, that's what it's for, to bring heat upon the earth and to make life pleasant and to grow your crops. Ain't grow them in the dark. Go ahead. Mold grow in the dark. Go ahead.
Verse 8. But if a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness. For they shall be many.
But they should be none.
But they shall be many.
Just a few of them.
But they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let your heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth. And walk in the ways of thy heart.
Right.
And in the sight of thy eyes. Of thine eyes. But know thou, for all these things, the Most High will bring thee into judgment.
What are you going to do?
The Most High will bring thee into judgment.
Right.
Therefore, remove sorrow from thy heart.
Remove what?
Remove sorrow from thy heart. And put away evil from thy flesh. For childhood and youth are vanity.
So, y'all, it's basically saying, grow up and be me. How long we going to keep on doing foolishness around each other? The children are watching. So what is that showing them? Same thing, we ain't gonna never grow up? I don't want to grow up. Toys and worse kids. Right. Right. He's smiling more, you driving faster than Jimmy John to get toys of us and beat you out the car, run off and leave you. Go ahead. Let it matter. 2 Samuel chapter 4. Samuel 4 chapter. 2 Samuel chapter 4. Anybody got any questions so far? Any questions that's on your heart, mind, and soul? Before we continue on.
Real quick, I'm just going to read these couple of verses while we're flipping to that. This is the second volume of the Pseudo-Apocrypha, page 579. It says, verse 141, never expose a wandering man and a sinner. It is better to make a gracious friend instead of an enemy. Nip the evil in the bud and heal the wound. By a tiny spark, a vast forest fire is set on fire. Keep your heart restrained and abstain from disgraceful things. Flee an evil report and flee lawless means. Eat no meat that is torn by wild animals. And y'all, we all know meat is physical and spiritual. But leave the remains to the swift dogs. Animals eat from animals.
So they got roadkill now that you can hit it with your fire and legally take it on and eat.
Right. Right.
That's what we're doing.
2 Samuel chapter 4, y'all. What we're covering right here is when Saul, we're talking about David's mercy. Saul was trying to kill David. He threw spears and javelins at him. He hated David because the women of Israel loved David, and most and foremost, he knew that the Most High was riding with David. You know, because of the spirit on him when he took down Goliath. and the songs that were sung. So he had player hate in his heart. This is the first king that we voted for, so to speak. Give us Saul out of Benjamin, because he a tall man, like the other nations, because Goliath was so tall. But Goliath was 2 feet taller than King Saul.
Said Saul's shoulders were above the heads of every man in Israel.
Yeah.
How tall he was.
Every man hit Saul about right here, the tallest guy. That's how tall. But it wasn't that taller than Goliath. So we figured we could scare a few people with a tall brother. But David was about 14 or 15 years old and already killed a bear and a lion with his bare hands. Go ahead. So what we're reading here is that the messenger that came to David and told him that Saul was almost dying, the man that the Lord put in your hands, because the Lord put Saul in David's hands 3 times to kill him, and David never did, even though Saul was hunting him down like a dog. But the man, when Saul was dying, Saul told him, man, go and put me out of my misery so the Philistines don't put my body on Front Street, you know, and hang me up. Don't kill me. Don't let them torture me to death. So David waited and let the man say with his own mouth, I put him to death. Here's his crown. You King David. David said, you killed the anointed of the Lord. So we're just reading a little bit of that to get caught up to understand why the matter is judged this way. And then we're just going to ask a few questions and see what a mindset is so we'll be able to explain this. Because if we don't get this understanding of here, the weightier matters of the Lord, you'll be saying to yourself, the Lord, let people kill people? That's your God? That's exactly where it's going to go. If you don't keep it right here with them newcomers and understand it like it's supposed to be put down. Go ahead. Yeah. No, hold on. Let's get right to the heart of the matter. Verse 8. Yeah. Read down a little bit. Y'all, 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 8. And when y'all read early up in the chapter, you'll see a covenant. Verse 6. Where y'all want to start at verse 6? Let's go to 6 then. But Jonathan, Saul's son, and David were knit together. They were both. They had a tight bond. So when Saul did what he did, Jonathan had to die with his dad. But he will never be judged for his dad's crimes. He'll be judged for his own crimes against the law. But he had to die that day. Because it was prophesied, Saul in your whole house. But Saul had a son that was crippled. And when you read earlier, David had made a covenant with Jonathan that I'll take care of, if we'll look out for each other's family, whoever died first. So he had a crippled son left because he thought all of the house of Saul was dead. And David took him in and took care of him for the rest of his life. So that's where that starts off, and that's showing you mercy and how he kept a covenant, even though the Lord had to put down a man that he was cool with because of his father's transgressions. But that shouldn't be no concern of you, because that's why we're here, David. But we can't be judged for what our forefathers do unless we do the same thing. Go ahead.
2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 6.
What it say?
And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. And they smote him under the 5th rib. And Rechab and Baanah, his brother, escaped. But when they came into the house, he lay on his bed, in his bedchamber. And they smote him and slew him and beheaded him and took his head and gat them away through the plain all night. And when they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, and said to the king, behold, the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, thine enemy.
The son of who?
Of Saul, thine enemy.
See, and this is the king. They're saying your enemy, but this is the king of Israel at the time, still sitting on the throne. And they're telling David, your enemy. But did David ever treat Saul as an enemy? When Saul threw the javelin at him, what David do? Played that music and drove that evil spirit off of Saul. That's where you get music soothes the savage beast from. He just played his music and calmed that evil spirit down in Saul. So David got a dilemma here. The king of the nation hate me, and me and his son is cool. But this was another son. Go ahead.
Saul thy enemy which sought thy life.
Right.
And the Most High has been my Adonai, the king this day of Saul and of his seed.
So he's trying to tell David, look, you know, your enemy, the Lord, that put them all down. Your enemies, dog, they done been dealt with. And David thinking, you know, I could have did that one myself. At one time, Saul went in a cave and was taking a number 2. Then David snuck up behind him and cut a piece of his robe off. And then called him off a cliff and told him, Saul, I could have killed you last night. Why you hate me like that? Y'all know what that did to Saul? Drove him more mad. That's how Satan had hardened his heart. You could have been dead and you still mad and hate. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And David answered Rechab and Baanah, his brother, the sons of Ramah, the Beerothite,
right,
and said unto them, as the Adonai liveth, who have redeemed my soul out of all adversity.
Right.
When one told me, saying, behold, Saul is dead.
So David's weighing this matter now. David brought the head of one of Saul's sons to David, and David's weighing the matter and said, look, when they told me Saul was dead, go ahead.
Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings.
Thinking to do what?
Have brought good tidings.
See, they thinking because I done did you a favor. So what we call that today? A brown nose. Trying to get in good with the king. Go ahead.
I took hold of him and slew him.
Did what?
I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag.
Right.
Who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tithe.
See, he thought he was going to get a reward. Thought he was going to be David's right-hand man. David said, you go kill him and I wouldn't kill him. The Lord told me I could kill Saul and I didn't. And now you going to come up here with the crown and the whole thing is you trying to get next to me, you going to kill me. Ain't that the way it go? Go ahead.
Verse 11. How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand and take you away from the earth? And David commanded his young men, and they slew them and cut off their hands and their feet and hanged them up over the pool in Hebron. What? But they took the head of Ibasheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron.
And you see the still the righteousness of it to take the head and go bury it, because that's what we're supposed to do, but bury. But David says they did that, they cut their hands and feet off. You know, so they won't be able to do no more of this. The only thing they're going to be good for is picking up donuts. And they slew them, but that don't be no good thing. That's it, and he never used the word murder, slew, or slain. The slain of the Lord should be many. If you hear any Israelite pastor hollering, I can't wait to murder somebody in the Most High's name, that's the devil. Murder is the shedding of innocent blood. You can't have the name of the Most High in your mouth and then out of the same breath say he will allow me to commit murder, the shedding of innocent blood. Out of the same mouth.
I got another video for you too, bro. Let me see this.
Is it him?
He's struggling.
We can hold up, y'all, so we can get to anybody got any questions or concerns on how that played out, or should David be charged for that, or did he weigh that matter correctly? This is what you're seeing, because you know what? Everybody outside the Bible will come at you at Acts 13:22. Somebody get that for me real quick. And they're going to say, if David heart were like your God, would your God have done the same thing if they read that? So what they're trying to do is make you feel guilty about serving the God you serve.
Right.
Does he kill innocent people? He let babies die.
They'll use the perfect hatred scripture too.
Yeah.
Being trying to link to it.
What you got, brother?
But again, when Most High they mission to kill Saul, why didn't he do that? If the Most High telling him to, then that's like a green light.
It is, but the people, David knew that the people wasn't going to see him like the killer of Saul because it's Israel versus killing Goliath. He was weighing this matter out. The Most High is saying, look, killing is permitted when it's to my own hurt, the scripture called it. I wounded a man to my own hurt. That means I had to do self-defense. We shouldn't kill. But if somebody got you down strangling and you're going to go to the gates of hell and you get that out of his hand and send him to the gates of hell, he'll rob and kill him. You don't want to have done that. But this man was trying to wound you and send you.
This is war.
This is war. So you have to, but you can't shed innocent blood. You can't sneak kill nobody. Even with this word, you go to somebody that may be of another faith and you sneak kill them, you still treacherous. If you don't get this word to them right. Because a lot of us came into different doctrines because it sounded good and it had a few benefits with it. Go ahead. Where we at? Second Samuel. Yeah, that's for me. That 13, 22, and 23. Who got it?
Acts chapter 13, verse 42. And when he had... Oh.
Take it back.
So y'all, what we saying is there's things that you know, not to cut you off. There's things that y'all, we could have did. You said, I could have did that, but I didn't. You know, sometimes you just have to weigh matters and see how far this will be down the road. If you find yourself saying all the time, I reacted to something and I could have got and I get a pass on it. Well, doing that made me feel good. It made me feel good. You don't feel good. If you have to boast about having to do something like that and it makes you feel good, then that's a problem because the Most High said in Genesis 6, it grieved him that he had to destroy man from off his earth. And you happy? No, y'all, when they say don't kill, that's what it means, but there's 1,000 ways to kill. But then Ecclesiastes 3:8 says there's a time when it may come in your life. But you have to be on the side of righteousness if that happens.
Do you remember the case in the 80s? I was in college in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Africa. This guy was on trial for murder, killed his girl. And the father was in the courtroom, in the court building, when they were taking him in for his trial. He was standing there faking like he was on the payphone. So when he walked right by him, he just pulled out a gun.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And he got off of that. Right. And you just mentioned about being a time for killing,
but see, y'all have to look at it. Did he weigh it out? If he weighed it out and said, I'm ready to take the judgment of settling this in my own hand before it gets to a jury, then you got to be prepared for the punishment for that.
we got off.
That's the decision the Most High say you got to be ready to live with. If you done let him get him to the courthouse, you got to opt out. How the one's going to be judging him if they beat up the ones judging you? You at the courthouse, you got to opt out at that point. It's a no-win situation at this point.
But he got off.
He got off.
Yeah, the complexion for the connection.
Yeah. Don't think he just got off with the Most High.
Right.
Real quick on that. Wounding the man to his own. What you say? Wounding to my own hurt.
Yeah.
It says, gird on the sword, not for killing, but for defense. May you not use it either.
Back it up. What are you saying, brother? Read that again. I like that.
Gird on the sword,
Right.
not for killing, but for defense. May you not use it either lawlessly or righteously. For even if you kill an enemy, you defile your own hand.
See, this is why David couldn't build the temple. This is why we're going to that Acts to let you understand. Even with it like that, that you had to do that, it's still a stain on you. And the Most High didn't want David, people to be worshiping David about his killing aspect. That's reserved for the Lord at the second coming. Because everybody would have been linking up to David because, you know, they talking about he good with that sword. There you go falling behind. But as soon as somebody cut David's head off, what's going to happen? Huh?
He wasn't that good.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 21.
What it say?
And afterward they desired a king, and the Most High gave unto them.
See, we talking about the same thing. We desired a king, and we got King Saul. Go ahead.
Saul, the son of Cis, a man of the tribe of Benjamin.
Who was he the tribe of?
A man of the tribe of Benjamin.
What part of the Bible is this in? So he's talking about tribal origins in this Paul. Go ahead.
By the space of 40 years. Verse 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart.
Now, this is going to cause a lot of trouble. David, your guys say David heart after his. Where do you think the first place they're going when they read this? What they say of our people. What they say of our God. Where the first place they go? What y'all think?
It's
what?
It's transgression.
It's transgressions. That would be the first place you go. Because they want to debunk the Bible. Your God, heart, and David's are alike. What's the first incident you think they're going to? No, huh? Yeah. Numbering Israel. Man, because the Most High struck down Uzziah because he put his hand on the ark. A few things. What you saying? Say that again. Yeah. Yeah. Murder the man about his woman. That's the first place they're going to go. So what you going to do?
You got to explain the mindset of the heart of God. What is it? And how does it compare to David's? What's up, B? You good? He looking like, what?
2 Samuel chapter 12. And y'all, this is the very topic we're talking about, and we'll see how this was measured. And we'll see that before this even happened, David had measurement of himself. But what we're going to see the weightier matter of the law. We're going to see how the Most High judged David's heart. Look, y'all, when you show somebody else mercy, mercy come back on you. And you know they wrong. This don't make you a slap target, not saying that at all. You just take abuse.
Slap target.
Yeah. I'm going to turn the other cheek. Ow, that slapped you over there. I feel like 1,000 more bees to stun you. I'm still not going to hit you. You're a roofer.
You alright?
We don't teach that here.
You said you had a double holder.
If you get that one off, you better consider yourself blessed.
Let's get
What verse?
start at verse 1. And y'all, this is after David had done what he done and had Bathsheba and killed her husband Uriah the Hittite. who was a top general in his army. What is a Hittite doing a top general in the Israelite army?
Head bustle, brother.
Huh?
Head bustle.
Yeah, what?
Head bustle.
But he in fold.
Love our God. Yep.
What he doing in fold? What he doing married to?
An Israelite.
The most beautiful Bathsheba.
Keeping the commandments.
What's going on here?
Keeping the commandments. Following God, all Abraham has
You know, that's a weightier matter too when you hear about somebody teaching any doctrine that can't no nation come amongst us.
Right.
We don't teach that down here. This is spirit walk. Which corrects your flesh. It's not the other way around. Because you think we got all the same flesh, the same color is going to fix us? Go in any motor mart. There's a paper in there. As soon as you walk in, call the word.
It's right up. Do it in one of the steps.
And the thing be though, it's crazy that they teach the doctrine the way they do. Because even though we Israelites by blood, right? And we're going to rule in the kingdom, you still have to be converted by your mind spiritually, just like the heathen, to get to the new kingdom.
Right.
So you got to do the same. You got to do the same thing spiritually they do. The only difference is that you get to rule in the new kingdom.
Right.
It's still the same process.
You the tax collector. That make it any easier for you. Who you pay taxes to now? Everybody got to do it, don't you? You will be the tax collector. Reigning with Yahweh, he's asking tax.
Right. The fact of the matter is, though, flesh and blood will not inherit the kingdom of God.
Say it again.
Flesh and blood will not inherit the kingdom of God.
Yes, sir.
Won't. Flesh and blood. Period.
Because flesh and blood in this is dying. This is corruptible flesh. So we understand that Hebrews Acts 2:34, just as last one about David. So that this is the first place you take them when they start talking about your God like David. Because the Most High ain't showing David no special favor. I'm going to get right back to this 2 Samuel, y'all, so we can see why the Lord did what he did. Or you're going to be spending your time trying to defend the Bible because somebody's telling you your God ain't fair.
Acts chapter 2, verse 34.
Go back to 29. Since we talking about David, if you don't mind.
Acts chapter 2, verse 29. Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day.
What is with us to this day?
His sepulchre.
David's gravestone is with us. Go ahead. We can go over there and say David buried in there. Go ahead.
Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that Yahweh had sworn with an oath to him that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he would raise up Christ to sit on his throne.
Right.
He seeing this before, spake of the resurrection of Christ.
Right.
That his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption.
Right.
Y'all see that they're talking at this time. This is in Acts, but at the time of David, he saw this. He saw Christ's death and resurrection. That's what he's saying. That's how he was assured of what he was doing. The Lord not only loved David, but he dealt with David. There's times that we wish the Lord would deal with us on some things, or you see how he dealt with our forefathers. Sometimes you desire that, Lord, deal with me like that.
Right.
You know, use me like that.
Right.
But that's how David was assured of what he was doing. Because in the Lord, he showed these people, what you believe in me is true. Here's the proof. That's how he dealt with some of our forefathers.
All right, so with the Sadducees and them not believing in the resurrection, then what is that?
Right.
Because if he showed it to David in the Psalms, right, all through the Psalms,
right,
how can somebody thousands of years later say it ain't no resurrection?
Right.
That's because it's with intent.
I'm saying it was like right there in the very book they read, like you ain't gonna leave my soul in hell to suffer corruption.
Right.
They like, well look, David, he didn't corrupt it. He in the grave. So what was David doing? Was he talking about himself? Or was he talking about the resurrection of his son Christ?
Right.
That will be coming down the line.
That's right.
You feel me? And that's Paul's argument. He's like, look, they was talking about the Messiah. Because David tombstone right over here at Jefferson Parish.
Right.
We can go down there and look at it.
Absolutely.
That's his whole argument. You feel me? But he's like, well, look, if David ain't lying, and David is a prophet of the Lord, he wasn't talking about himself, where does that leave us then?
Right.
He had to talk about who? The Messiah who would resurrect thousands of years later.
That's right.
And that was the whole point of them bringing that whole scripture back up. Like Psalm 16 had already been in the scripture.
Right.
Been in there where he said, look, I'm not going to be left in the grave.
That's right.
I'm not going to suffer corruption. Right? But if he was left in the grave and suffer corruption, then what was he doing then? He was either lying or he was prophesying about something that was coming down the line.
Right.
That's the whole point behind it.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
Let's get it. Go ahead. Verse what?
Verse 32. Then Yahushua had Yahweh raised up, whereof we are all witnesses.
We are what?
Witness.
Y'all, it ain't like this is made up of a fairy tale that they make it out to be. Yes, there's a fairy tale out there about our Messiah. White Jesus is a fairy tale. And it has a doctrine behind it that promotes it. Black Jesus, Pharaoh, or whoever else you got on the picture because he black with a fresh Jerry curl because he's looking up to the heavens like this.
Jerry curl, what?
If that's a picture by your door, that's a graven image too. You can't rub on that and head out the door. Be with me, Lord, today as I go down King's Highway. You're going to have that in your mind when you holler out. So you got to have in your mind the spirit and truth. Lord, save me as you did with such and such in a time of trouble. Because Messiah said, when you see me, you have seen the Father. So if any original portrait out there that says this is the actual picture of the Messiah, if you find that, then you will have the picture of the Father. Is that out there anywhere? We see a bunch of Negroes make up some pictures.
Yep.
Blue rolls on one.
Martin Malcolm, all the
Yeah, the boy out of this other camp got his picture in the way Revelation is describing the Messiah.
Bill Carson.
Yeah. There's another black Christ out there. Farrakhan said Elijah Muhammad was Jesus Christ that the Bible was speaking of. Y'all see his picture everywhere with the crescent moon and the star on it? He say that's Christ. And they love him and chase him. That's a fairy tale too. Ain't it?
Yes, it is.
What he died from? He couldn't cure his ass from? Huh?
This makes a good point.
Right.
We're the same man.
But y'all, that's how far deep the rabbit hole go. If we get out of the spirit and get into the flesh, we don't want to look at a God we can see, and you're going to apply this to the work of a painter hand. What's that wisdom of Solomon, the beginning of chapter 14? You read that about idol worship. A man will make an image of his son, he'll do all of this. And he said, there's no images of Christ recorded anywhere. But his truth and his law is his image. And if you walking in that, then you got the image of Christ. If you ain't, you walking in somebody else's image. Where we at?
Verse 33. Therefore, being by the right hand of Yahweh.
Being by the what?
Right hand of Yahweh. Exalted. And having received of the Father the promise of the Holy Ghost, he has shed forth this, which ye now see and hear.
Right.
For David is not ascended into the heaven.
What David ain't ascended to?
Into the heaven.
David ain't up there. Now is that a problem? You wonder about Big Mama and Uncle Charles? What is? King David, the script say he had a heart like mine on, but it say he can't come up here.
Oh, no. What are you saying?
What are you saying?
Big Mama greater than David.
Hey, Bible is that.
Big Mama?
Right.
What did you buy?
Big Mama helped everybody. She ain't up there.
Right. Right.
What did she do greater than David?
And this is what we're looking at the mercies like this. If the Most High's mercy, he said, I spared David. This is a lucky spot for David, just a grave. But he can't come up here. Not after what decisions he decided to make. He can't come in there until his flesh is resurrected and is cleaned up. Go ahead, brother.
For David is not ascended into the heaven.
Right.
But he said himself, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand.
What David say that at?
Psalms 110.
Oh, boy, y'all. So we seeing that David wasn't talking about himself. David said that the Lord said to my Lord, sit there on my right hand. If David is the king and he got a Lord over him and a Lord over that Lord, how could all these scriptures be talking about David as the Messiah? Go ahead.
We back at 2 Samuel chapter 12. Chapter 12.
I want you to read
verse 1.
I want you to read verse 36.
Oh, okay. Back to Acts 2, verse 35.
Y'all, we ain't got long. Go ahead.
Until I make thy foes thy footstool.
Right.
Therefore, let all the house of Israel.
The house of who?
Israel. Know assuredly that Yahweh hath made that same Jesus whom ye have crucified, both Lord and Christ.
So this say that the house of Israel. No, it's all 12 tribes.
Sure.
Ain't no need y'all discussing no more. This is the deal. Because both sides of the coin rock David. Regardless how you do, David is mentioned in all of the doctrine that's out here. King David. But let the house of Israel know assuredly, David got worms going through his flesh. Let's read some more. Where we at? 2 Samuel, y'all, we got long. 2 Samuel chapter 12. And y'all, this gonna get us back to why, and we're gonna see the judgment of the Most High, of how he lets you examine yourself. And what y'all gonna see here is verse 48 at its best. Well, they got the ideas. Let's get it.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 1.
What it say?
Everybody there? And the Lord sent Nathan unto David.
Right.
And he came unto him and said unto him, there were two men in one city, the one rich and the other poor.
Hold it right there. Now y'all see where parables come from? So we look at the scripture and we ask, why does Messiah always speak in parables? Ain't this a parable right here starting off? This Nathan the prophet. Where you think Nathan the prophet get it from? He's starting it off with a parable. Parables, y'all, this is why you have to be careful with the book of Jubilees. The book of Jubilees is a parable book. It's called Little Genesis. It speaks in parables a lot of the time. You got to make sure you are watching it and you are looking at it and you understand. It's teaching a lot from a parable perspective. Y'all, sometimes we need parables. You have to break it down to where they can say, I see what you mean now. You done brought it down here to my turn. But I can't bring righteousness down to that turn. To where you understand it from your corner way. And you start talking, no, we can't do that. I ain't said that. What I'm saying, brother, is this why this matter was handled like that. But we can't render evil for evil.
Right.
Let's get it.
Verse 2. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds.
Right?
Herds. And the poor man had nothing.
So right here we see when Nathan came to him, he's giving him the parable. Rich man had many herds and flocks. Poor man had nothing. We got the picture? Let's read the book.
But the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children.
See, y'all understand this? What it's saying? That he grew up with him, with his children. You know, so it is telling you, you know, this he done spend time and he done put work into this. Go ahead.
It did eat of his own meat and drink of his own cup and lay in his bosom and was unto him as a daughter.
Y'all see that? It
What
was
is that?
unto him as a daughter.
So what was it?
You men in here know that you have daughters, and you know the love that you have for your daughters. You got to think about that. Well, I don't want anybody doing my daughter like this. If it's out of line, I should say. Go ahead.
This was like a pet. You know how people treat their family pets?
Right.
Drive them around in the cars and, you know, all the things.
Sleep in the
dress them
bed
up.
with them, kiss them. Not all people.
Look, but it said it did eat of his meat and drink of his cup, meaning the dogs eat the crumbs from the table. So, you know, they can't be sitting in those seats up pulled up like this, sitting here with a bib on that table. Or like you see some people cooking with cats in the kitchen. The cat will jump up on the table, you just shoo them away and keep on stirring potato salad. Who gonna eat that? No, a dog knows his place. He say he eat the crumbs of the table. And that, after you get through with that bone or whatever, that you do like this and throw that down now. And the dog eat the crumbs of the table. So don't get it mixed up. It ain't saying love your animal like a kid, a child in no sense. Because some of us will go left field and say, they said your dog can get in the bed with you. But he's just giving you what he's saying in a sense of a prize you land like your prize car you may have. A 69 Camaro. What I like. And you rubbing on it, that's the only one you got. This boy got Bugattis. But he keep eyeing your Camaro. Every day he ride by in a different car. It's been 2 weeks. But he keep on coming by looking at you. Go ahead, what we at?
Verse 4. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him.
See, he said a traveler came. This is a rich man with all of the land. But he like, oh, somebody passing through. I got my freezer full. I ain't gonna pull out of my freezer. Go ahead, what is saying?
But took the poor man's lamb.
What he do?
He took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man.
So right here we see that fire David up. Because basically he said this brother is raising up his ewe lamb, the only one he got. That man had plenty. Came and took this man's stuff and gave it to that traveling man. Gave him his stuff. So that goes missing out of his flock.
We have plenty to give rather than took the only from somebody else.
From somebody else. And David, right then, David's eyebrows touched together. He got an anger. What? Go ahead. What is that?
And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, as the Lord liveth, the man that hath done this thing shall surely die.
So what has David just done?
Pronounced judgment.
What has he done?
Pronounced judgment.
So is that a thing for David to do? Huh? But what came out of David's lips? Huh? Right. Go ahead.
And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity.
And he did what? Say it again.
And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity.
And he had no what?
No pity.
Say y'all, do y'all understand this? He didn't care about that man had raised that lamb up like that. He had zero pity for this man and all the work that he had been doing out there all day. It's a rich man. So calls come and go to him. But in a sense, David said he had no pity, so that's why I put him. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Go ahead, let's read some more.
Y'all see here that how we as a people have taken the term pitiful and changed it.
Yeah. like incredible.
Right.
A person who has pity or pitiful has plenty of pity. Well, we take it and say that you ain't no good. Pitiful.
Let's get it.
Same word.
You can't do what?
It's the same word. We use it in the wrong context. Pitiful.
Yeah.
Verse 7. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man.
What Nathan say to David?
Thou art the man.
You the man. You the man.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul.
What did he do to him?
He anointed him king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul.
So what is the Lord telling him right here? Look, based off of whose judgment was that? That was David's judgment. David said, I would kill him. If he was around me, I would put him to death. That's the judgment for a man like that. Y'all see why you have to be extra careful with your words? Especially when you know you done been spared. Let's read some more. We're going to speed this up just about 15 minutes.
And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom. And I gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things.
So when I say I gave you your master's wife because the king had heard what the other king had. The king dead, David can be left. All of those wives belong to David. So this is the Most High saying, I gave you polygamy. If you had asked anything else, I gave you some more. But this is the mind of a greedy man at this point.
At this time, did David have 8 wives?
At this time.
Okay. So we got 8.
We're looking at the point though, but no, we're looking at the point of what happens when you overdo it.
Right.
When you do too much. And now we're seeing another reason why David had to sleep. The sleep of death. They couldn't ascend to the heavens because of these things. You got it today. And tomorrow you abuse the power of the law because you are king. Yo, we have to be extra careful when you're looking at a situation like this. But this is what the prophet did first. He let David do what? Condemn his own self. Yo, you ain't got to condemn nobody. They will condemn them own. I was going to say them own self. Is that a word? Well, it is. They will condemn their own self if you just let them speak. But the problem is, we don't let them talk. We're trying to pronounce it. Just let them talk. You won't have no problem understanding the matter. Let's read some more.
Verse 9. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment?
What did he do?
Despised the commandment of the Lord.
See, who else did that? Despise the commandment of the Lord. Who? Esau.
Cain.
Cain. So when you're talking about despise the law of the Lord, evil has come over you so powerfully, you push the law of the Lord back to the side like that. Like it's something wrong with it. Like it's something wrong with this. Look, Lord, I understand the deal. I understand your commandments, but this one on me today. What? I'll get back with you later.
I'm going to step away from this for a moment.
Are you sure it's going to be a later? Go ahead.
Verse 9 again. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon.
See, and killed him with the sword of the children of Ammon because David didn't personally kill him, but they was at war. So Ammon killed him, that nation killed him. That's David's murder. Don't they do that today? If you ride in the car, now, you ride in the car and who go to jail? Everybody in the car, don't they? Or you ordered to hit and you sit back, waiting on the phone to ring. It's done. Okay.
And they on their way to get you too.
Because you did what? What's the word for? Or conspire. They say we gonna punish you for what you had up where? Up here. We got to lock that mindset up in the penitentiary. We can't let that out here. That plot, murder. We got to put that behind bars.
And the person that does the plotting gets the worst sentence.
Yeah.
The dude that actually do the killing might get 20 years, but the person who ordered the killer get life.
Yes, sir. Because you're plotting, and that's a bad thing because law breaking is coming from inside of you. It's not what goes in you that defiles you, it's what comes out of you. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
What it say?
Now therefore the sword shall never depart.
Hold it down, y'all. Go ahead, we got about 15 minutes.
Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house.
What shall never depart?
The sword. Because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil. I thought you were going to say go ahead. Beginning of black and white crime.
No. Yeah, I did that. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house.
Out of thine own what?
Own house. And I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor.
Right.
And he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son.
So right here, the Most High say, I'm going to double and triple up what you done. All your wives, somebody else going to have. This black on black crime, it ain't going to leave your household. But how was all that rendered to David based off of his what?
Judgment.
Confession. Read some more.
Verse 12. For thou didst it secretly.
What he do it?
He did it secretly.
So the Most High know everything you doing. You may get away around us. I may get away with around you, but guess who knows? Let's get it.
But I will do this thing before all Israel.
What are you going to do it?
He's going to do it all before Israel and before the sun.
So now, guess where you show up at? On America's Most Wanted.
Right.
On the billboards. This is the no good person. Right here. He's on the billboard. He said the whole world get to see it now. Because you did it in secret, the whole world get to see it.
Right.
So y'all got to understand that this is the fair judgment of the Most High. So if somebody take you to that, take them to this. Do you understand what we're saying, y'all? How you show them how the Most High straighten out a bad behavior. If you ain't studied this matter, you ain't studied this manuscript, you're going to be lost. And you're going to be scratching your head and say, that don't sound right. That ain't right. Why would the Lord do that? Well, did David get handled? That would be your next question. Did David get handled?
Yeah, he did.
And you got to be able to take them to that. Then they say, that's just balance. You just solved the weightier matter of this. And not only that, but it lets you know that he can't be the Messiah promised with this. You get these type of curses thrown on you for your behavior. Go ahead. Y'all doing back there?
Verse 13. And David said unto Nathan.
Y'all take a seat. Come on, y'all ain't got long. Go ahead.
And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord.
What has he done?
Sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die.
So we see that David got returned the mercy that he was shown. Y'all see the payoff in this?
Absolutely.
The man that changes ways out of multitude of sin. So what we're talking about is some of those secret sins that you may have done may have been forgiven. You don't know. But you better do something to try to equal this score out.
Long time.
Long. Let's get some more.
14. Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die.
Read that verse again.
Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die.
See, y'all see what had to happen behind that? Yep. Do y'all see how the ball is rolling downhill now? fair and right judgment, but he made his own decision. David said, I kill him. He said, no, I'm going to do one better. You dying like this, the punishment over. Lord don't play games like that. He like, I'm from everlasting. I'm the ancient of days. What do you think you dying is going to do? Y'all ain't going to learn no lesson. I'm going to put it on your household, and I'm going to put it on your household children, and I'm going to put it on them. For your actions.
I never thought about it. The Lord gave him permission to kill Saul. He did.
Right.
But for lust, he had
to make it. Because we're supposed to guard our loins. So anybody got any questions or concerns on this judgment or this matter for the Lord to spare him? What was the first thing David did when he knew he was called? What did he do? What did he say? Y'all scared to talk? But somebody say, we seen that on film. Ain't nobody out there in that audience. What did David do? What was the first words out of David's mouth?
I have seen.
I have what? I have seen. Y'all, you know when it's there. Ain't no need to keep battling uphill. Give me 1 John 1, chapter, verse 8. Real quick. Y'all ain't no need in fighting. When you fight the weightier matters and you're trying to defend that, where is the scale of righteousness and unrighteousness starting to tilt to? Where they going? Unrighteousness is going like this. Because you keep trying to lie your way out of it. You can't. Give up. You got it. Because you pronounce judgment on yourself.
John 1.
You see a little bit more of this. I just want to read down to verse 19.
You said 1 John 1, chapter 2?
Yeah. 1 John chapter 1, verse 8. What that say?
You want to go there first?
Yeah. Right before you read that, just a quick one, y'all.
All right. 1 John chapter 1, verse 8. If we say that we have no sin.
If we say what?
That we have no sin.
Uh-huh.
We deceive ourselves.
Who you deceiving?
Ourselves.
So, if you say I'm saved, what are you saying? What you doing? Because when you're saved, you have no sin. You start afresh. When Noah and them got off the ark, what was riding on them? Anything? Read some more.
If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
Yeah.
If we confess our sins.
If we do what?
Confess our sins.
What did David do?
Confess.
Go ahead.
He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins.
Faithful and just, y'all. That means he's determined by the law as well. If you do it in the righteous manner of heart, he's faithful. Faithful means truthfully acknowledging the word of the Most High. It says he's faithful because Christ is going to be the judge. Let's not be misunderstood. You're going to be sitting on that throne when the lions are going in front of you. When you walk past. Go ahead.
If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness.
To do what?
Cleanse us from all unrighteousness.
See, cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So that lets you know you got to get to the point where you got to keep on quit using that line, but I'm working on it though. Now, just man fall down 7 times and he get up every time. But 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you still talking the same noise? Go ahead.
If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar.
We make him a what?
A liar.
Uh-huh.
And his word is not in us.
What part of the Bible you reading that out of?
The New Testament.
Okay. If you say you have not sinned, if you don't know what sin is, that's why you have to wait to hear what comes out of people's mouths to say that before you attack. They're not taught that sin is transgression of the law. So if they hear the law is done away with it, what sin can I be doing? Right. Yeah, we're going to move to 1 Kings 6 chapter. Yeah, we ain't got long. What I say, about 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes. First Kings 8.
1 Kings 6 chapter.
Yeah, 6.
I want to get right to the part of splitting the baby. And y'all, what we're trying to do is kill that drama between Israel because all the other nations are watching. And we're trying to bring them into this fold. Well, we can't bring nobody in with bad behavior like that. It ain't gonna never work. 1 Kings 6 chapter, we're gonna get right to the point of splitting the baby. That in there?
We're going to go back chapter 4.
Chapter 4, is that 4? Okay, chapter 6 will be able to get ready.
Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Verse 16.
Yep, that's
That's
right.
right there.
Look
Right
at them
there.
students out there.
3:16.
Thank you, bro. Have a mind somewhere. 3 and what?
16.
16. You look at that 6 and see where I was going. Go ahead. We'll start that. Right at the point.
1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16. Everybody there?
Hold on, start read verse 50. Start at verse 14. Read that. Read that book.
Verse 14. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, and keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants.
So usually this is what happens whenever the Lord visits you. You're going to do this. It's almost automatic. It's a sign of marking that event. And you want to let everybody know the Lord has blessed you. We do it now, don't we? You get a little change, what you do? Go out and buy something, I want y'all to stop by. Everybody looking around, dainty meats everywhere. You like either whisper going, you just get a lick. Is that going on? Look over. Top shelf, great noodles.
You hit a lick.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. Then came there 2 women that were harlots.
That were what?
Harlots. Unto the king, and stood before him.
So are they finna get tried and punished? Go ahead.
And the one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass, the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also. And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house.
2 women pregnant at the same time in the same house. Most likely by the same man. But what is going on right here? What is this saying? It's just a house with friends with benefits. Basically.
It's Sadie Park.
Huh?
Get go with harlots.
Yeah. And what we're saying is sexual intercourse without a husband. Basically what it's saying. Go ahead.
And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. And she arose at midnight, and took my son from beside me, while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead baby child in my bosom.
So we see here this the argument.
Baby child.
Baby swapping. Dead baby swapping for a live. So y'all know it probably was the same man involved, because you know it's right. Right. So you go get the dead child, you look at this one, if one got the eyes of a Chinese, you know something. This ain't can't be your child.
Go ahead. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. And when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son.
So right here we always see that how children that get switched at birth, or you wouldn't know your child. People say, well, how you didn't know that was your baby? Y'all, we can see right here 2 women in the same house. Baby's born. You know what I'm saying? What's the argument? Who child is this? You right here in the same house though with this. And the same thing is going on to go in the hospital today. Go ahead.
And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king.
Right.
Then said the king, The one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living.
So King Solomon is repeating back what's before him, y'all. I don't want to get too drawn out long, but it's a lot of things important here with the people that's standing before him when we're talking about weightier matters of the law. Go ahead. It's
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
And the king said, Bring me a sword.
Bring me a what?
A sword.
Uh-huh.
And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in two.
Do what?
Divide the living child in two.
So King Solomon's remedy to this plan is to cut the baby in half. What is that going to do?
Kill the baby.
And what does he solve? What is going on? What is he trying to get to the root of? Since I can't determine who's at fault, let's split it in half, put it on both of y'all then. Because this baby's death going to be on both of y'all. It's the only way we can do just matters about an issue. We ain't marriage counseling.
To get a true reaction.
You got to just see what we're gonna get. Okay, both of y'all involved. Let's split the baby then and see who come clean. That's where that term come from. He split the baby. He made a decision. He split the baby. Either both of you gonna be happy with that decision, or somebody, the truth gonna come out of somebody. Go ahead, read a little bit more.
And verse 25 again. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to one and half to the other.
Right.
Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O my Lord, give her the living child.
Do what?
Give her the living child.
Right.
And in no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divided.
So what are we seeing right here?
Well,
we're seeing the one lady, what's she doing? What's she say, the first one?
Let the baby
Give the child to her.
And give it to what?
The other mother.
Give it to her. At least the child will be alive.
Right.
We did bad enough bringing the child into this world because we had already put a title on it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, because that was rough in Israel in them days. Who your daddy, man? My uncle always say some man when he gets drunk at the family reunion. But I don't know. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof.
Right.
And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged.
What did they hear of?
They heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king. For they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment.
So, can anybody tell me why he didn't address the matter earlier and just say, we all shouldn't have had no damn baby anyway? Because how did they come to them both? What were both of them?
Harlots.
So, is any of that in any of the equation of what Solomon doing?
Nope.
So he's not punishing them. Y'all didn't come to me with that matter.
Right. They're dealing with the weightier matter.
And don't need we talking about that. This the issue we have at hand. This is the weightier matter. This child, how this child will grow up? He gonna already have enough problems like Jeff, what's his name? Jeff. No, not Jethro. Jephthah, in Judges 19th chapter, when you start off at that verse 1, Jephthah, a warrior of Israel, but his mother was a harlot. And the Israelites was wearing him out. Wearing him out. But then came running to him when the war got heavy. So now we see what Solomon's doing. That ain't playing no role in this right now. We got a baby to deal with. And we got two people finna be warned over a baby. What we gonna do about it? I'll tell you what, split the baby. And we'll get both halves of it because we ain't gonna get nowhere with this. So we gotta know when to stop spinning our wheels when you ain't gonna get nowhere with this. Split the baby. You'll see who the true heart is at that point. Whose judgment is like this. And then people will look at you because you ain't yielded to either side. You yielded to righteousness. Yeah. This is the best way I can deal with this. What the word gonna say who was lying? You was gonna kill her baby. And what the one said of the baby? You was gonna kill her baby. The king could just back up the situation and say, did you plan on that baby coming here? Like David. You see the difference in the situation of even David. The Lord said that baby had to die. How long the baby live? How long? What?
What'd you say there?
How long that baby live? 7 days. Absolutely. Because the angel, what would have had to happen to that child? And circumcision to put the covenant of righteousness on the child that was born from a situation like this, and David is the king. Common men, we can kind of understand that shouldn't do it either, but if this is the king, what is the nation going to do behind him? Same thing, ain't it? What is the world going to know what's happening? At this point, the Israelites, when they get out, if the child had died, y'all want to go join camp fornication? You can get away with it.
Right.
Where we at? That's the end. That's the end of that. Now we got a couple more, y'all gonna get out of here. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 24. Y'all got about 3 more, and I'm gonna hit these 2 Psalms of David's heart because I want y'all to really understand a man that had mercy and truth in his heart, but he went over and he came back. But he never did turn on the Most High. And he never did say, what happened was. Now, immediately, you got me, Lord. You got me. I'd rather fall into your hands than mine. Why? Because you know the Most High can put him down eternally. What you finna put on me and my household is lightweight compared to where you could send me. Because your law say what's supposed to happen to me. Because it's a what? That's an abomination. That's felony. 3rd degree. In the eyes of the law. First Corinthians. Y'all got 3 more. Y'all go close out. 10:24. Back up if you want.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 20.
Start verse. What I said?
You said 24.
Start at verse 20.
But I say, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 20.
Right.
But I say,
Bear with me a little, brother.
Listen to your brother.
that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devil.
Who they sacrifice to?
To devil.
Uh-huh.
And not to Yahweh. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils.
No. So is that hard to understand?
No.
Not at all. Y'all, we're talking about sacrifice. And when sacrifice, we're talking about taking something away from yourself to receive something back. So when you sacrifice the devil, it's the same sacrifice you make to the Lord, but you're doing it to the devil. And the only profit is temporal for the moment. Go ahead.
Ye cannot drink of the cup of the Elohim and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Elohim's table and of the table of devils.
Because if we got the measuring scale, what's going to happen? You got the measuring scale, you got the cup of the Lord and the cup of the devil. Left hand, cup of the devil, cup of the Lord. What happens when this cup starts rising up?
You can't serve two masters.
Oh. Let's read some more.
Do we provoke the Most High to jealousy? Are we stronger than He?
Right.
All things are lawful for me.
What did he say?
All things are lawful for me.
Let's get it in our mind that Paul ain't never said we don't have to do the law. What were they attacking Paul for? Paul right here saying all things are lawful for me. Every law in there is a righteous law, and don't none of them exclude you. You may not have to do some of them, but they don't exclude you. I don't have to worry about the buried law. Ain't nothing there. But the law is there, right? Now, if something happened overnight, I wake up like Grizzly Adams, the law applies. But the law don't go nowhere because I don't have a beard. The beard law still remains what has to be dealt with a beard. Go in.
All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient.
All things are not expedient, meaning something may happen, but the law being there, that don't really concern me at this point. If I'm 15, how does the law of marriage and I'm in my parents' home affect me? That ain't expedient for me at this point. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that's down the road, ain't it? Yeah. Should be. Because I got to leave that with my mom, right? Go ahead.
All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth.
Can anybody tell me what they think that means? Or, if you know, express yourself. Seek another man's wealth, y'all. What does that mean? Huh? Care about enough? Help out enough? In what way, shape, or form?
Spirit.
Huh? You can help with prosper. Which way first?
Spiritual.
So, if I'm rich and you become rich, we can hang out together, right?
Man, he's been rubbing your chin.
Right. See, so basically when you seek another's wealth, look, it's not their wealth that you're seeking. Understand how the language of the Bible is saying, I need to make sure they're on the same playing field with me. I have to seek, I have to go look for another's wealth. I have to bring them up to the point where they're at. So we're all equal in this playing field.
Boy, talk about that prayer.
So y'all understand what it's saying? I must seek another's wealth. This ain't going after nobody else's paper. That's covenant, ain't it? Go ahead.
Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. For the earth is the Most High's, and the fullness thereof.
So, what about this? Don't eat what's in the shambles. Do we have a weightier matter? Or we strain at the net of a camel? What is it saying? Whatever sold where?
In the shambles.
What's the shambles?
Store.
Meat markets.
Markets.
That eat, asking no question for conscience sake. Look, this ain't telling you to go into the marketplace and buy pork. Because he just told you verses up, they that sacrifice to the devil sacrifice. They that sacrifice, the Gentiles sacrifice to the devil. You can't bring unclean meat to the altar of the Most High. Under no circumstances. So it ain't saying that whatever sold, it's just saying because you go down to Sula Market. Well, you know, I don't go, I try to go where everything is kosher. I go over there to them Arab stores. You know the difference down at Sula Market? Yeah. Who may have lamb and alligator over here versus the Ishmaelite market that got all clean meat. What's the difference? Say it again. They praying over that meat. And we just read, you can't buy that meat like this. When you go into the market, you can't be worried about that consciously every time you go in the stores. Wonder what's happening with this. If they say that's beef, it needs to be beef. If you want to read the ingredients, then read the ingredients. But if it says snooks on the front, if you start weighing it out, snooks, oh, that's Edomite. You can't go up and down. And you will find yourself going like this. Where are you going to go?
Raising your own.
Look, the stores play fair. When you go in there and there's a sacrifice to another god, don't they have a whole other section for that?
Yep. Halloween, Christmas.
You just walk right past it and go get what you get. But you know what the sign gonna be? What you like is 2 for 1 over here.
Right.
Now your conscience bothered.
You want to wait till you're going to say it.
Sacrifice.
But if I get it and just keep it in the trunk of my car, technically, I ain't doing it.
Boy, I all post that down.
Boy,
in the trunk.
I used to get it when I first came into the truth. I called myself not keeping Thanksgiving. I said, well, I ain't gonna eat today, but I'm gonna eat the meal tomorrow. Still ate it.
Right.
Sacrifice onto an idol.
Look, y'all. If we doing the same thing in our area with clean meat, y'all understand what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying about the Ishmaelite. He's got all clean meat, but he's praying over it to the moon god. So, because it's clean and you watch him wipe the blade off with one of them sandy wipes, does that make it better when you hear them hollering in the back and you don't know what they saying? Why they cut? They all clean up in here, dog. Ain't no pork, man. That blade ain't never hit no pork. You ain't got a clue where you at. What you about to put in your mouth? Clean meat. One more, y'all. James chapter 3. And we're going to hit these 2 Psalms, y'all. We're going to close out. We're going to hit Psalm, James chapter 3. I'm going to hit this 20 what did we stop at on that?
27.
27. We're going to hit this James and these 2 Psalms, quick ones, about a contract spirit, and we're going to close out, y'all. But what I'm just trying to get the focus on, the weightier matter of the law. Y'all, what is concerned here? Yo, we got doctrines out here flying about, man, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that, man? Do you think we're going to spin our wheels on dealing with a subject? Flat earth doctrine, let's say that. We can battle it all day long. If we don't hear what's the difference of a flat earth and the kingdom coming to it, unless a round earth is causing that a problem, are we spinning our wheels in the areas we don't need to be right now? Don't say that we don't talk about it, because you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared for anything that comes the way of the scripture and is to be discerned out of here for correction, reproof, and righteousness. It still has to be addressed. But at this point, the first thing you have to ask is this going to cause a problem for the kingdom when he comes to land on this earth? Is it going to cause a problem? If that ain't causing no problem, what you gonna do? Why are we banging like this? What thought are we holding concerning these matters? And we watching Sodom and Gomorrah unfolding before our eyes. We watching ISIS cutting heads off, and we reading about head cutting off if you love Christ. See, brother, the kingdom will roll right off into the sea. If you at least explain something, but we're not going to spin our wheels on that. We will address it, but it's the bottom line. Where is it going to be when Christ take over? What is that going to do for us? If it ain't, we in a pissing contest. Right up. James chapter 3, verse 1. I'll tell you what, hold that, y'all. I'm going to hold these last 2 feet. I'm going to skip that. Verse 37 of the book of Sirach. I'm going to put it on the board. chapter 37. Verse 1. Hold on, y'all. I just said I'm not going to go to the James. I'm going to go to one more to convene y'all because I had 10 more to go. But the choice of the one that sounds a little bit better, that I have to readjust on the fly to get us some understanding, y'all. We have to be friends in a sense, not fair weather friends. Y'all know what fair weather friends are?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
See, fair weather friends, who had it there, Johnny? Fair weather friends. Y'all, when you're singing that means the only time I show up is when things are good.
When the weather is fair.
When the weather's fair. When you doing good, I'll show up. But if I get word you done fell off, I ain't answering my phone.
Fair weather.
Man, this is like what's the other thought? Man, look how they fell on hard times and I click. You like, you ain't gonna leave. You call right back. No one is at home to hear your complaining. He's gone to the door.
That door. Jesse, this mean you.
Look, fair weather friends, y'all, they come and they go. The scripts say friends are like old wine. It's age. You know who this person is. You done been side by side with them. You know how to talk to them and things get handled in the matter because y'all old partners. New friends, y'all, they come and go. Like new anything else. The new Jordan's gonna be out tomorrow, but how long they gonna be gone? Over the weekend, ain't it? After we hear about the killing and the head busting for a pair of shoes, it's gone as fast as it came. We need to be trying to get some shoes that the soul don't wear out on. Like they were in the wilderness, but for righteousness' sake. We wasting our time. Give me that Sirach. Hold on. Let me pull that up, y'all, right quick so we can see it on the line. Sirach chapter 37. Just pull this up, y'all. We got them 2 more and we out of here. Ain't no time. Saying 15 more minutes. I'm telling you these 2 scripts. After this, and we out. Yeah.
15 minutes.
Real quick. I say 37?
Uh-huh.
How's that looking? It's 17, yeah. Y'all, because Abraham was a what to the Most High?
Friend.
Noah was what? Friend. Y'all, when y'all understand these things, when the Most High is calling you my partner, y'all in good shape. If the Most High say you my partner, this my friend, when you introduce your friend, you ain't even gotta say his name, do you, or her name?
Right.
When you say this is a friend of mine, most people, if you on your game, they understand that they don't need me looking at them any way different unless they introduce the devil as their friend, but you already knew they was crazy. You may not know it was at that level. Okay. 37 and 1, y'all. And this is weightier matters because you have to weigh your matters with a friend of the word, a friend of the Most High. You may have 2 friends in this walk. One of them going crazy. And they coming to you for the weightier matters. How do you handle that? How do you judge? Well, this one keep coming and help me fix my car. But this one did that. You got to eliminate all of that.
Right.
What you have to do is the righteousness of the law. Brother, what happened? Start from the beginning.
Right. Don't leave out there.
No, see, I'm going to get to that. Ain't got time to hear all of that. Let's start at the beginning, and we can save a lot of time and heartache and pain. What does it say right there? Free. Who got it?
Ecclesiastes, chapter 37, verse 1.
What does it say?
Every friend said, I am his Every friend said it, I am his friend also.
Right.
But there is a friend,
right,
which is only a friend in name.
There's a friend which is only a friend in name. Y'all understanding that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It is not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned into an enemy.
It's what? Is it what?
Is it not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned into an enemy?
Is that painful, y'all? When your partner turns into your enemy.
Can't believe that
If he no saying about you, that may be a different problem. Get back to the roof here. How you find these things out? Let's read some more.
Verse 3. Oh, wicked imagination.
Oh, what?
Oh, wicked imagination. Which camest thou, and to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion which rejoiceth in prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him.
Y'all see that? That's the first one of the free. In the time of prosperity. Man, I heard you done hit that lick, man, and I said you was always going to do it, man. I knew the Lord was riding with you. Just got sticks in your pocket with a wide open and he slipped some in. And I said for your much thinking. Go ahead.
Verse 5. There is a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy.
Y'all see that friend? Hungry. Taketh up the buckler for his enemy. Go ahead.
Forget not thy friend in thy mind.
In thy word?
In thy mind.
Look. Don't forget your friend up here, your partner. David and Jonathan. Yeah. Understand that friendship. My best friend father wanted to kill me. What y'all think about that? How do y'all even have a conversation? I mean, what y'all gonna talk about? If he ride with you, boy, you gotta drop him off at.
And if y'all on the corner, man, your dad been trying to kill and take it to the tree.
Go ahead.
Forget not thy friend in thy mind, and be not unmindful of him in thy riches. Every counselor exalted counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself.
What does he do?
Counseleth for himself.
Y'all, this is why we can't be caught up in these entrapments or in somebody's business.
Right.
Because you're going to counsel for yourself. What can I get out of this counsel?
Yeah, you need to go and leave him alone.
Right. Are you happy? What do you mean am I happy? What comes behind that? Go ahead.
Verse 8. Beware of a counselor.
Beware of what?
A counselor. And know before what need he hath. For he will counsel for himself, lest he cast the lot upon you.
So, when we read these Matthew 18, you got to beware of the counsel.
Yes.
And that's basically telling you for yourself.
Right, you can't tell everybody anything. Everybody ain't gonna counsel them.
Yeah,
right.
Everybody's got a shoulder to lean on and tell all your business to.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. Some people will tell you something just because they know you got something for them.
Right.
Remember, they got an advantage. So it's like, yeah, let me go ahead and tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
So you go into them pockets and, you know what I'm saying, bless my pocket.
Right. People bless your pocket.
Everybody's not a counselor or is genuine when they're listening to you. You just sobbing and telling them all your business.
All your business.
That's not scripture. You're not supposed to be doing that.
Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Let's second witness to that. Sirach 6:6.
What it say?
It says, "Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000." Let you know me going to everybody for
Have but what?
one counselor of 1,000.
One of 1,000. Look, if you got your phone number, because if you don't have one, you're going to keep going down the list for who don't agree with me. Man, them niggas gonna say, man, because I peed over there, there was a Johnny with a lot of children. Man, oh, brother, that's crazy. Don't make me buy. Man, them brothers say, because I was,
Gotta go eat that.
man, see, that's why I don't come back down there no more.
Yes, man.
Because I was peeing over there, they got on them just some old hate peeing on niggas. That's who I want. Lock him in as the counselor of my sin. Right? One's going to tell you how you need to hear it, like Nathan told David. The Lord going to kill you. If this behavior continues, he will kill me. Look, y'all have to think about Nathan's mindset. Do you know David could have raised a sword and just did like that? Kill Nathan. This prophecy won't come to pass. What Saul do to them priests? Then he slay 400 Israelite priests. Ordered him. Kill the priests. Sick of this madness. talking about King Saul and that nigga playing that guitar. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Verse 9.
Sultry.
And say unto thee, thy way is good. And afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall.
Read that again. Verse 9.
And say unto thee, thy way is good.
Right.
And afterward we stand on the other side to see what shall befall.
Dog, if I was you and my woman said that to me, you see that skillet right there with blood on it, you want to take that? And then you're going to stand back on the other side and watch the police get What kind of friend is that? Who offers that type of advice?
The devil.
The devil. Man, if I was you, I'd break the commandments of the Lord and settle this thing. And then you standing over there like this. He actually did.
I won't see him for 40 years.
Right. Go ahead.
That's how DMX was in there.
Right.
I know you're going to talk like you talk.
Right. Y'all know the challenges that put it right there. Go ahead. Let's read, y'all. We got but 2 minutes. Go ahead, y'all.
Verse 10. Verse 10.
Hold it down, y'all. Hold it down. We gotta get finished. Come on, y'all. Go ahead.
Consult not with one that suspected thee.
How you gonna go with somebody that's thinking you guilty?
Yeah.
What's the first thing on their mind? Look, this is the same way in our script. We know we guilt by association.
Yeah.
So why you gonna even start talking about that? You know how about that. Get on the gospel. And tell them where you stand, and then we'll deal with that. And deal with the weightier matter here. Whether I know I'm Israel and you don't, the weightier matter is there's a judgment day coming. For everything we do, both secret and open. Every idle word and every bold word, there's a day coming that all of those words is going to weigh in the balance which side of the room you go on. Read some more.
And hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Right. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Right. Neither with a coward in matters of war.
Right. Hold on. Y'all look at that. Neither consult with a woman touching of her whom is jealous.
Right.
Talking about
You're going to her for advice.
Still like her. When you go to the coward, it's about war.
You got this gal and you got this gal. You with this gal, you chose this gal, but you wanted the gal you turned down. And she won't even cook for me. And I'm saying, what kind of Hebrew woman is that? And you smelling grits and pots rather. And I just don't know what to do. She looking,
Boy, the coward when they come to warfare.
How you barking banging up? You can't. What y'all done did if y'all seen the dog? Tell them this all. Right. You just open the gate up and go in. You know, man, killer didn't get at you. Killer walking half like a firecracker that don't go all the way. When he see you look back, oh, kill him. He's a dead. Read some more than y'all so we get out of here.
Verse 11 again. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Neither with a coward in matters of war.
Right.
Nor with a merchant concerning exchange. Nor with a buyer of sellers. Nor with a envious man of thankfulness.
Verse 11.
Go ahead.
Nor with a envious man of thankfulness. Nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness.
With an unmerciful man touching kindness, what do we know about doing something right? Kindness, what are you going to hear about from his way of doing things? He don't show mercy. Right. How you going to him about kindness? Right. And I was just saying, if I could pay you Thursday, nigga, get out and get my money before you dead to see. It's costing you money. He come to the door, still got his underwear on the scrap. Hold on, dog, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you just got up, ain't no shower. Ain't none of this. 5 minutes. You getting the ride, you getting your lunch, you should be waiting.
Right, so a slothful man will have no counsel for you about work. He's lazy. So what are you doing going to him for any type of advice concerning work?
You're spinning your wheel.
He don't work, he's slothful.
Yeah, man, you should quit that job, dog. Man, you should quit that job.
Right. You like me working on the Sabbath? Negro, working on the Sabbath. Most High don't like that. See, that's why I don't work on the Sabbath. You ain't working at all. So the weightier matter is this. You can't do the Sabbath unless you do what? Work. What's the weightier matter here? Right. Man, do what you have to do and pray, and the Most High will deliver you and remove you from the Sabbath if that's your heart's desire. This may be your trial to see, to test, you know, the trial of the Most High. Lord, be with me. You know I don't want to be here, but they got me here, but them shoulders is hard. What I'm going to do? Do I go get this counsel from him? I would go, Mama, you gonna cook, sir? I'm hungry, that's why.
Taking advice from
I'm gonna go to them for counsel. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, bro.
Nor with a hireling for a year of finishing work.
Nor with a what?
A hireling for a year of finishing work.
Look. Even if you go to somebody to work and get done, y'all been working on the same project this long. When is it gonna get done? Yeah, today we're gonna go over here, man. We're gonna put some rails on the fence. Your contract say I'll be done in 2 days. We in the 2 months. A little bit at a time. Go ahead.
Nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these. In any matter of counsel.
Idle servant of much business. Hearken not to any of these. Idle servant of much business.
You don't got business.
You ain't got business.
And whatever it is that you got is in somebody else's
business. Because he ain't got none of his own. Right.
Read that last verse.
Verse 12. But be continually with a godly man,
right?
Who thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord,
right?
Whose mind is according to thy mind,
right?
And will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
Do y'all hear that? Of the same like mindset that will tell you, dog. Brother, I went down that road. You don't want to play with the Lord on that commandment, I'm telling you. And I'll tell you to your face as a partner. Now, you may not like me, man, but I got to tell you this. I got to tell you this so I can watch you fall. If you don't take this, then that's on your own. And they say he will sorrow with thee if thou miscarry. Do y'all know somebody that's trying to have a child and they get to the 8th month or the 9th month? And then blood drops are seen. Ain't got no children. Been taking care of everybody else's children. He will sorrow with you for a miscarriage. I'm talking about being there. Ain't no I can feel your pain and I know. And so no, he gonna be there with you if you miscarry. Because y'all know that's a hard thing. Go ahead. That it? Okay.
Let me get 13.
Okay.
And let the counsel of thy own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee.
That's it. That's it. Read that. Please read that again.
It said, and let the counsel of thy own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it.
Than yourself. How you gonna let somebody judge you? Now you understand? Don't let no man judge you about a feast day or holy day. You know you better than anybody. Last two, y'all, like I said, Psalm 51 and 17. Go ahead, Psalm 34, 18. Them two, y'all, you can do them backwards order or run the back.
Psalms 51.
51:17, y'all, this gonna wrap it up about David. And he gonna tell you what the Lord likes more than any sacrifice you can make. Any sacrifice, and you're gonna see how it ties in to this last verse he just read. Let the counsel of thine own heart stand. Don't be convinced by nobody anyway. The counsel of thine own heart, because guess who got to stand in judgment day? You. Y'all read Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 4 and verse 20. Noah, Job, and Daniel, though they were in this world, yet they can only stand for themselves. I don't care what you read about. They are in line to receive their judgment. Not yours, not anything about you, but their judgment. So your mind got to be here. You can't let nobody get over on you. What you hear here and what's around here, if you hear opposite of that, don't want to hear it. If you don't hear it down here, check your Lord. I'm in 3 classes, they ain't saying nothing like that. No. And call them on it. Is that what y'all teach down at the assembly where all of the members go? Let their own mouth be their counsel. If you start hearing him and hard, you know what it is. Psalm 51:17. Y'all, we got these last 2 and we out of here.
The book of Psalms, chapter 51.
And y'all, this is David pouring out his heart after he had did what he did with Bathsheba. So when you see David said, I have sinned, this is David confessing that sin about what he did to Bathsheba, pouring his heart out to the Lord. That we still read this how many generations now? It was 14 generations from David to Christ. And it's been 2,000 years since then. 3,000 years. And these words still going strong.
Yeah, still 1,000 years.
Because it's truth from the heart pouring out. Acknowledging what I did. Go ahead, brother. Yes.
The book of Psalms, chapter 51. We start back.
No, start at Psalm 51 and 1 and then skip down.
All right.
Right.
Verse
17.
1. Have mercy upon me.
Have what?
Have mercy upon me.
Right.
O Yahweh, according to thy loving kindness.
According to what?
Thy loving kindness.
Not my kindness, but whose kindness?
Unto thy loving kindness.
Okay.
According unto the multitude of thy tender mercies. Blot out my transgression.
Now, this is King David at a point like the Lord's. He's like, David knows what it takes to get back in good grace. Blot them out. Read that verse 2.
Verse 2.
And 3, and then we'll skip right to verse 17. Go ahead.
Wash me thoroughly from my iniquities.
Right.
And cleanse me from my sin.
Right.
For I acknowledge my transgression.
What he did? What?
For I acknowledge my transgression.
Did he do that when Nathan brought him the cross?
Yep.
Go ahead.
And my sin is ever before me.
And we still reading about that. So it's before us what he did. You know where else is that? In the birth line of Christ in Matthew 1. And Bathsheba, Solomon, the son of Bathsheba, who was the wife of who?
Right.
Still in there. Go ahead.
You trying to say something?
Huh? No, skip down to 17. Yeah.
Verse 17. The
No,
Sabbath.
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
O Adonai,
Right.
Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall show forth thy praise.
Right.
For thou desirest not sacrifice.
What he desires
For
not.
thou desirest not sacrifice.
If you made a sacrifice, you thinking because I pay tithes or I get up and come down here, and I'm like, oh, but you'll get to the point down there again. We don't get to do nothing no more. Kids ain't been to Chuck E. Cheese, did it? Ain't nothing binding you to coming down here. She want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, go to Chuck E. Cheese. Look, that's on you. You know what you doing. What you ain't. What happens if you go there and I see you? What you gonna do? Act like you working now? Jump in the balls. You kids get out of here. Don't let it take you again. I'm calling the police. Go ahead.
Verse 16 again. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it.
Right.
Thou delightest not in burnt offering.
Right.
The sacrifices of the Most High, or a broken spirit.
Or what?
Or a broken spirit.
Uh-huh.
a broken and contrite heart, O Elohim, thou wilt not despise.
So what is the sacrifices of the Most High? What does he want? A broken and contrite heart, meaning I am sorry.
A true repentance.
A true repentance. Not because I got caught, but because it's not your way. And the whole world is looking at me. Go ahead. Look, y'all don't think that child that David had, when y'all read the rest of that story, how David poured out his heart and fasted for that child to stay alive. The Lord say, David, I can't do that. You know I can't do that. What do you think gonna be going on around here in Israel for the whole world to see? You don't think anybody gonna be whispering? Son, with Bathsheba when she was, and he the king. All that means is clock finna go down for your crown.
Yeah, right. Oh, he got a witness for women that sin some more.
Let's read some more.
Verse 18. Do good in thy good pleasure.
Right.
Unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem.
Right.
Then thou shalt be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar.
Look, when you seek the wealth of another and everybody is brought up, it's sacrifice time. Everybody got something to offer. He said, then we can offer. But if we got this player hating heart we got amongst everybody else, and you trying to be in a righteous spot that you got to say, I want to live in for eternity, I can't stand this nigga standing next to me. You wasting your time.
Yeah.
So that first meeting, I got to make sure somebody want to be around me through eternity. First. And then we start seeing who we can be around. But we got to be careful that we don't get like the Pharisees and hang around Pharisees all the time. He said the sinners, everybody do that. That's not what he's talking about when he talking about a righteous man. He said a man that will check each other. Whether one high or one low, it don't matter. You hit a lick, that don't mean nothing to me. What I care about that? You want me to meet you, boy? Nigga, that money that got you crazy? What? Don't call back here no more. Click. You be like, man, I'm tripping. Dog, I'm calling you back. I'm tripping.
Oh, man, I wanted that 20 right?
Yeah. Shit, I got something. See, we can ride down the river, bro. You know, we ain't did that since we been boys back. We going back to boys back in the day because money is flowing. We finna die. Psalm 34 and 18, y'all will close it out.
We're going to do Psalm 48 for the close of the prayer.
Y'all read all of that Psalm 51 and y'all heard David pouring out his heart. Psalm 34, 18.
Good unto thy good pleasure.
Do good, y'all. Look, y'all. It's hard to gain friends in here, but y'all best friend gonna be always the one to keep repeating. You tell me what I may not want to hear, but I respect it.
Yeah.
And you take what you may not want to hear. Right. But you're going over it in your mind and you're thinking about the long effect of this. Who is this going to affect? My decision making, who is this going to affect? And how long is it going to affect? If I'm dead and gone, you think it's going to stop? You think because David died, the crimes of Israel stopped? Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18.
1 second.
The Adonai is near unto them,
Right?
that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Verse 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Adonai delivereth him out of them all. He keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. Evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate. The Adonai redeemeth the souls of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate.
So right there, y'all, that's our friend. Y'all, what we got to do is keep our minds right, y'all, because we're in the last days, and y'all, the internal war that we have is heating up because the Passover is coming up. 19 days out when all the leavening has to be out of here first. You clean your house and it's still loaded up with leaven and we still got some problems.